head back out there.
Oh, it's beautiful. Let's kick off the show. And look at the timer, Barkman. It's on the 10-minute mark, which others wait for. Lost in takes 16 minutes to push the start button. Let's go! Welcome, everyone, to STFC Briefings. It comes the moment that we all wait for, which is the moment that I click this button and hope it doesn't break everything, and it didn't. Okay, that's fantastic. We kick off the show, as always, with anticipation, anxiety, and absolute madness in every way possible. And that is absolutely awesome to get it going. We've got loads of people on the panel. We have icons, we have franchises, we have legends, we have... and then we have a guy called Lost In. I mean, it's you know when you get an uncle on the side and you're not really sure what you're supposed to do with them, and you go, oh yeah, this guy's here. You know, I've got to say something to him, and I don't know what to say to him. It's kind of awkward, but he's still here. But I've just got to, you know, hey, we'll just humor the uncle. The uncle is here to kick us off and get things off. So Lost In is here, who is the leader of one of the greatest movements ever made in the history of mankind, the MJ Hat movement. So it's very simple. You go to any Discord that MJ Hat is associated with in any way possible. You just go at MJ Hat, and then you wait for this giggle from Lost In. Ready, Lost In? Giggle. There it is.
At MJ Hat, baby. At MJ Hat.
At MJ Hat.
Hey, Nigel.
Yes.
There's a giveaway in the chat right now.
Oh shit! Join. Who's giving away stuff? Taco is giving away. Join. Type join. Join. Lost In, why don't you type it in? Type it faster, Dustin. What's taking so long? Lost In, type join. Join, Lost In. Oh my God, he made it crazy. He's made it in. Join. Thank you so much, Taco, for an incredible giveaway of a Taco mug, strangely, kind of half support. No, join is on Twitch only. On Twitch only. Get yourself on Twitch and get the join. This is why you don't, not exclamation point join, just the word join. Just the word join. You've got a few more seconds. We put a 3-minute timer because last time Lost In did this, it threw a hissy fit in every way possible. And we all cried because we couldn't figure out what the hell to do. While we've got many things that goes on. Lost In, this is a great moment. While we're doing that, and I'm pressing buttons and trying to do two things at once, which is fantastic. Join. Not exclamation point join, just the word join. The winner is
Martok.
Oh my God. You are the luckiest man in the world. He wins all the time. How is this even possible? This is rigged. Rigged in every way possible. This is definitely something to have a chat about in every way possible. It's
Look at your hype train, though, Nigel.
Oh, wow. There's a hype train going in every way possible. But
I think we should take advantage of the fact that you've already hit your goal and raise more money for charity.
Yes, marvelous. We definitely would be good. To Right Love on Their Harms are amazing. They're a suicide prevention charity who have helped quite a lot of people in my industry specifically, and some people quite close to me. They're absolutely superb. we're going to be, definitely supporting them this month. But today they asked us to reach the 300 quid mark. We crossed it, which is fantastic news. If anybody wishes to throw more, it's !tip and just throw the money in there, and then we will donate it to them, which is absolute kindness. And then at the end of the month, we will give them all the subscriptions, everything that goes in here. And we're a level 8 treasure train in that way possible. And 10 subs to get us going to the next level in every way. So it's just...
Can I talk seriously for a minute, Nigel?
Yeah, of course.
Since,
please go ahead.
You're doing a fundraiser for Right Love on Her Arms.
Yeah.
So as many people know, in my real life, I work as a doctor.
Yeah.
And I take care of kids. And one of the things that is happening today, definitely nationally in the US, but I would bet internationally, is there is a real crisis in teenagers who are under stress, and it is frequent that they show up in emergency rooms with the thought of suicide, and they often don't have places to go. So I think anything that supports and helps kids that are, and people that are really struggling with suicidal thoughts is desperately needed. And so anything this community can give, and I've always been amazed at our community about how much people are willing to give. This is really, really, really an important thing to pay attention to. There are not enough resources for these families, for these children, and trying to find help when your kids are struggling with things like this, with suicide, with disordered thinking, is really very, very challenging. And the stresses these kids are under nowadays just continues to get worse. So anything that people can do, !tip in the chat. Let's help out these communities that are working to help these people. It is really, really a struggle. I can't overstate how big a problem this is. And so happy to support it and happy to have other people do it. And I will go back to being the silly uncle now.
Yeah, no, thank you so much for that. And in that time, I will show you a little video that we helped them make, Lost In. So guys, watch on Twitch while this hype train is still going. It's on 1:55 with 10 subs to go. This will, guys, help you see a little story. There's a longer one that they want me to share, but I'll show you a little tidbit of what happens.
A lot of the stories in the handwriting itself. You can see like chaos, you can see pain, you can see like sometimes those hopeful thoughts come in the midst of like these big loud screaming things.
One person's story of recovery that has helped many more.
That story touched people around the world and created an online community of hope.
Millions of young people talking about mental health for the first time.
1 minute hype train.
Literally, people's lives are being saved.
I didn't grow up in an abusive home. I had parents who loved me, but there was the internal struggles and things that I couldn't name and I couldn't explain why they were there.
The first time that I ever cut myself, I was 12 years old. I didn't really even know what it was. Everything kind of came to a head for me. I got stuck in this situation where I just didn't know what to do anymore. I couldn't stop cutting. I tried to kill myself again. I tried to get hit by a car. Then finally, my friends came and they picked me up and we went to the treatment center. And I get there and they basically told me they couldn't accept me because I had too much in my system and they'd found the cuts on my arms and they wouldn't accept me. They told me to come back in 5 days. Because the chances of me having a seizure and not making it through the detox were too great. So that was when I spent 5 days at my friend's home.
We tried to keep her safe. We tried to keep her smiling.
You know, they all showed up and took turns like sitting with me, and everyone's doing their best, trying to make sure, you know, we're in shifts and she's not alone.
2 of the 5 nights we took her to shows. We ended up standing on the side of the stage, watching one of her favorite bands. Today it's one of my favorite bands.
Yeah, I got to see Thrice. That was awesome. Awesome.
This was all new to me, like to have conversations like this, but I remember just being impressed. Like, there was a lot of pain, but there was also this incredibly brilliant, intelligent, creative, hilarious person.
I kept a razor on me just so that I knew that this was entirely my choice. It was symbolic to me to hold on to this thing of like the option. The very last night, it was like, you know what? I understand and I know what I'm doing and I don't need this anymore and I don't need the option.
She gave me her razor blade on the last night.
And then I went to treatment.
Wow. Sorry. Tearing up. My God. Well done, people. Yeah, very, very strong cause. They've saved quite a few people in the UK as well. They're very international, and what they do is absolutely incredible. So that's a video we helped them with. We've done a 22-minute documentary as well. I'll put the link for people to watch it fully. That's the beginning of it, just to show you guys that it's to help everybody. Like, we're, playing a little silly game, battling each other, trying to do things. But everyone deserves a second chance, and everyone deserves a second opportunity, and everyone deserves the chance to be able to speak to as many people as they can. And this is important, which is why I've had people in this game who've approached, and I know it's a silly little game, but I take it in a serious way when a DM comes my way and someone says, I'm not enjoying it. My family's this and my family's that. And you know what? I respect everyone's opinions in this game and everyone's hearts in this game. People have told me incredible, powerful stories, and they'll sit with me forever because it's their story to tell, not for mine to repeat. And this is just a moment of greatness. I know. It's a strong, powerful clip. We've helped them with that one. Like we helped Ambitious About Autism last month. They saw the success we did. We raised, $5,198 for Ambitious About Autism last month. And now we're on our way. Already today was a huge move and crossed our mark by, we're now into the 400 quid mark. So thank you so much for everyone that has donated today. That's really important. But that was incredible from all of you all. And I like the fact that we can go, STFC briefings are here, that bring a wonderful community that has wonderful people that can come on and do things as well, which is why it's really important to help them in every way. So I appreciate you all for doing that. So there's loads of people tipped. So thank you so much. I'll do a Hall of Fame list at the end of this month, and we'll do that the same, and we'll put some people's names on, so absolutely everywhere. Welcome in, Brian. Okay, and now we get to our silly game that we love and enjoy. Hey, Dr. Irish Chef, thank you with 100 bits, and come on in here. It's lovely to see you, buddy, and welcome in. So, guys, we have a lot of things to talk about. Number one, I would implore people that haven't taken advantage of the G3 Ascension and had that to not put your, pitchforks up yet. The other 50 BPs, they're still discussing. There is a very good chance that they'll put them somewhere. That's not a guarantee, but there is still a discussion about where those additional BPs go. It's just you could kind of tell they were kind of in a very weird place, which is why people were confused about where it is. And let me show you an example. So let's go on the big screen and let me show you what's in game. Obviously, number one thing I want to show you is, like Lost In, I have spent 0 on the Specialist Cadre. I mean, it's up to you if you do. That's not really a diss on anybody. If anyone wants to do it, that's their choice. But it is quite important for people to realize that in the game, there are, other than the Cadre 12, the BP itself. So as we go on to research, we go into Ascension, it's now gone from that section. So also, I'm going to warn people about this. This is something that not even Quasel knows. You see this. Lost In, have you done these, the prosperity generators? The ones in the G3
Yeah.
Ascension?
So I did for science. I ran through a bunch of them
Yes.
to kind of see what they would do. Do you want to talk about whether they do G3 or G4 or G5?
Well,
G6
I
type
will
stuff?
tell you what it does, and you won't notice this, but I do because I play paycheck to paycheck, as I call it. I play it edge to edge. Look at me. I've only got 131 million lat, so I play it paycheck to paycheck. So these, the moment you upgrade them, and I want to hear Quazel's reaction on this because I found this out. The moment you upgrade them, your generators stop generating. So if you are under the 465k limit, your generators, and they're looking into this problem because it's a very big problem. Your generators stop generating and they drop in number as well. I know, JP, they drop in number. So let me show you. I get about 20k per 71 generator, right? So I'm going to my game, into my station. Look what happens. My 72 is less. It's 13,500. Quazel, in the game with you right now, what's your 72 say? Production.
Let me check.
72. Look at the same thing. I know. But I'm telling people now, just so you know, I've already reported it about 2 days ago. And I noticed it because I play paycheck to paycheck. But I want to make sure that any of you are free to play.
Same numbers as you.
Same numbers as you. 13,000 storage, right? Did you upgrade your G3 Ascension?
No.
You didn't upgrade your G3 Ascension. You should get 20,000. The numbers have dropped. Look at this one. 71.
Yeah, but then that's a channel issue.
Yes.
Yeah, I don't know that it's that research, Nigel.
Well, the moment I did it, I was under this, it stopped generating at all. So I made them very aware and they have seen it.
Okay. I can't tell about generating because I have about 37 million Sigma titanium. So, you know.
Is that all,
Well,
Quazel?
send it right now, Quazel, so that we can see.
Yeah, I think Quazel should spend all his 37 million Sigma trait for science to do so.
Right?
If I had something to spend 1.6 million, I would, but I have nothing to upgrade anywhere. Otherwise, I would do it. But there's nothing around in any place possible that I could do that.
Well,
otherwise. Yes.
I'm only in 67.
Yeah.
I'm only in 67, but I have only got 114k of trait. So if I can find something while you're talking, I'll go spend it somewhere.
And have you upgraded your G3 Ascension?
Yeah, I did all three of those because I've done the officers that come afterwards.
Yeah, that'd be good because the moment I did it, that was not at 465. Look at the protected. It's dropped to 451,750. Quazel, what's your protected? Because you're the same level.
Let me check, but I didn't do a lot of research for that, so that might be different. I have 195, but I most likely didn't do some of the research because
that's it. Lost it. We're not listening to Quazel anymore. I mean, 95. I mean, what kind of player is
300? No. Sorry, I was on the wrong line. 335.
Down to 35,000. Yeah, mine was 465. It dropped to 451,750.
What's interesting is that, in fact, as you upgrade the other levels of them, because I tested this, your protected and your warehouse, so both your warehouse and your vault levels go up.
Nice.
As you start leveling them up, even in Sigma, which it doesn't say it will do.
True.
What's interesting is the generator one.
Yes.
Does not affect Sigma, but it does affect non-Sigma. So it makes no sense whatsoever. And I will tell you, I did not notice that the max amount changed.
Yeah.
And maybe it did with that, or maybe it did just with the patch. I'm not sure.
Yeah.
But the generators are still working up to that limit, whatever it is.
Yes.
But the research beyond it doesn't seem to increase it any, but it does increase your vaults and your warehouses.
Yeah, which is a very good research to sort of go through. Yes, so I'm just making people wary that they are looking into this. They have found an issue. Maybe it's just my account. Maybe it's a limited one. But that's something looking at, which leads to obviously these two and so on and so forth. So now your Borg cube, obviously, is you get your 50 here, and they're talking about where they're going to put the other 50. It probably won't be in this tree somewhere, but they might give it somewhere else. But hopefully, free to play will not lose in this one. If they do, we'll obviously fight back and find a different situation to that, because that's really important. The other thing is, which is very important, Lostin, have you, like, purposely, the key word here, purposely spent on the Cadre event at all? Did you go after these officers in any way possible?
I finished the SMS.
Yes. And
Yes.
you did it to chase? Is it an officer you're looking for?
I did it because shards are shards.
Shards are shards.
No,
Okay.
I think that these officers are, I think many of the new officers are not great.
Yeah.
But I compulsively did it. And what I really did here is I just started chipping away towards 75. I did like 2 buildings and I finished the SMS.
Nice.
And then I stopped.
Yeah, no, which is good to see. So that's the Cadre for this. So Quasel has got some math regarding this as well that he would like to sort of put in. So let me just transition you guys out of this, and we'll put you back into the maths of what Quasel is suggesting here. And you know what I mean, Lost in with Quasel. He has... no one knows why it's green, but it's green for some strange reason. So we're trying to figure out why it's green. Why it's green? That's the main issue. I'm gonna have to just give me a second, Quasel, while I try and make this a little bit smaller and fit it in. Once I fit it in, then I will.
The answer to why it's green, Nigel, will happen when Quasel has 1,000 followers. So everybody that's listening right now should just follow Quasel. And he will tell us why everything is green when he gets to 1,000 followers on his first stream. So follow Quasel.
Yeah, it makes sense. So let's transition to Quasel, ladies and gentlemen. So as you are on Twitch, here we go.
Well,
wait.
I hope we
Captain,
go.
There has been an update to STFC.
And here we go.
Green.
Here we go. Ooh, fancy.
But it's still green. Why?
Apparently, it's a design thing. Who knows?
Okay, Quasel, here we go. Yeah, I muted part of it by mistake, so don't worry about that. Here we go. So Quasel's on screen here with the Cadre Recruit explained with some data, Quasel. Look at that beautiful green border, and there's the cheat sheet thing there. Ooh. Someone's being a professional. Okay, Quasel, go ahead.
So that's kind of just the display, and this is all part of the officer tiering costs and whatever spreadsheet. So that's community done stuff by a lot of people, and you can see kind of we have different chances for the 3 rares from way beyond, like because we're in the second arc now of the new stuff, and all the officers you can get. So you have kind of the chance for higher chance for those officers in the first column and the lesser chance for the other ones. And then we have like a 2% chance to get 4,000 tokens back to have another role. And then if you're lucky, and that's not included in the math below, is like a 0.25% chance to get a token to select one of the 3 officers. Or if you're not lucky, after 90 rolls or 360k tokens, you get that guaranteed token as well. Keep that in mind when you do your planning of how much you want to do or not. So what does that mean? We'll run a little bit of math. So you see we added all the shards, and you can go there. So if you're doing the SMS, that's 200,000 tokens, which translates to 50 rolls. And you're getting a total of whopping number of 54 officer shards out of it. And okay, why is that? That shouldn't go there. Sorry.
All right, no problem. Ladies and gentlemen, it's green because there's a green screen while he tries to fix this.
Already fixed. We are quick.
Can I,
yeah.
Yes, Netnip.
Just quickly say, I went below my threshold and I was able to collect some.
So it works for the 60s, okay, 70s. Okay, no problem. G7s, thank you for that. Yes, so keep going, Quasel. Yeah, so the research was
we're getting 200k tokens.
Yeah.
10 Mara tokens are part of the SMS. So you're getting in total 24 on average Mara talent shards and 7 and something data and Cochrane, because the rest maybe depends if it's interesting for you or not. But you see it's a very low chance with the 50 rolls. So I'm not impressed because we used to have like for the 128, I think it's normally been half an unlock of a new officer. And we are kind of far away from that. That's like maybe a quarter unlock if you're on an average RNG.
Yeah. So does that mean,
And the-
Quasel, if we think about it in spend terms, usually an officer full unlock is about $400. That's what we're used to, ish. So for $400, could you unlock this officer because you'll get a guarantee every 90? So, and then the pack
you
will
get the
give
guarantee.
you... Yeah. So, yeah, I
Yeah,
wonder.
let's look at the. I didn't look into the special pack this time. Is it still those almost 200K? Let
Yes.
me quickly check.
Yeah, I think
Where
you
is
get the
it?
pack. What would be interesting to see is for what is the price of it, because they may base it on packs. Now, remember, free-to-play can't do this. So free-to-play can only get one every 90. You might be so unlucky that you barely get anything at all. So that is something...
It's 160K. It's 160 cadre for $100.
Yeah.
160K. So if we're now changing that number to 160K,
yes,
you're getting on average 11 shots
for $100.
That's 40 rolls for $100 pack.
40 rolls.
I mean,
okay. All right. Yeah.
So, I mean, it depends how you view it, because it's 43 officer shots in total, but there are some rares in it. So if we're kind of looking at the most interesting officers, maybe like the 3 new ones.
Yeah.
Because for then who wants Maradalian, I mean, I'm for sure going for Cochrane and Data.
Yeah.
But even then, it's 24 shots for $100. So it kind of maths out, because if you're buying 4 packs of those, that's then 160. Then you have at least one guaranteed roll. So you're kind of getting an unlock worth of new officer shots, kind of ish.
Yeah. And it's spread.
If that makes sense.
Yeah. The only thing is, if you end up with DeMarco or Walk Scotty or whatever, and then you're like, oh my God, I've got these already. That's the only problem with it, really.
Yeah. That's a problem, yeah.
Yeah, and that's major, because we've got to do that. Yeah.
It's a major shift, because we used to have a guaranteed drop of the new officer, the single one, and not a mix of them, and not like those are from last arc.
Yeah, but
let's
also
not forget that
there's a math part of this that's missing before Cruzito jumps on, is that the SMS is, because if you're going to score in your SLB, your SMS gives you how many shards at the end?
It depends if you make even a space in the SLB.
Yeah, but let's say the SMS,
kind of very
right?
dependent.
So the SMS opens up.
The SMS.
Yeah, opens up 20. Is it 20 shots? How many is it? I can't remember.
No, it's 200,000 tokens. So it's on average 24 shots.
Yes,
because you're getting the 10 base.
Yeah.
And 14 from Melon, and then like it depends 7 and 14. So it depends on RNG, and that's the biggest problem with it. You can get unlucky and get way lower shots from new officers.
Okay.
Because 50 rolls is not a number big enough to have an evened out RNG.
Yeah, it's
because if you would have 200 or 500, then maybe you could see a trend to get to the expected numbers.
Yeah, agreed. Cruzito, let's bring Cruzito in, Quasel. I think Cruzito's got a few thoughts on this.
So we talked about this a while back, Nigel, right? When you start looking at what the value, the monetary equivalent, all of that stuff, right? And so everything that Quasel just talked about from a math perspective is dead on. And it comes out to be, regardless of how you slice it, that you're going to end up with approximately anywhere between $4 to $5 per shard. And that has always been the monetary value that Scopely has put on an officer, right? Mm-hmm. So every single epic shard equals, depending on whether it's 120 shards or if it's a 100 shard unlock, it comes out to either be $4 or $5 per shard. And in this case, it still mats out. Now, what sucks about it, I guess if you look at it that way,
Yeah.
is the fact that it's RNG, so you may not necessarily get the officer that you were wanting.
Sure. Yeah.
You may not necessarily get an officer that you don't already have maxed.
Yeah.
Right. So that feels bad. But as far as true data perspective, it still comes out to be monetarily exactly the same. And so I don't know if this is going to be their new model, if they're returning to the older model where when we used to get officer shards, it was all RNG based. If you remember, right? The ultra recruits, that's exactly how they were done. So I don't know. I don't know what their plan is, but at least from the math part, it still equals the same value. Now you're just looking at it being diluted, if you will.
Well, I would like to. Here's the positive side of it. You actually technically get 25% more shards than what you usually get, but you get 25% more shards if you don't know what the shards are. So there is no guaranteed unlock anymore. And you back to the old school gaming of what we used to do at the beginning of the game, which is all RNG based sort of pickups. And you're like, I managed to get 100 of this or 50 of that or 10 of this. That's the only thing. That's the problem. The thing that would make this better is if they start. The thing is, they don't want to start eliminating officers from there because they don't want you to get to the point where you could just get to the one officer like the super whales and be able to get ahead of everybody else in RNG. So they got to be a situation where the math has got to be better. Now, you do get 25% more than what you usually get. However, not the officer you want. Crisito.
Well, so there's two things to that, right?
Yeah.
One of them is, again, in the past, we've had multiple iterations where you could outright just buy the officer if you wanted, right? And we'll go down that path. You could just pick the one you wanted, spend a guaranteed number, and get those officer shards.
Yes.
RNG introduces, the bit of chance, if you will, where you may get something that you weren't necessarily targeting. So as players, that feels bad. We don't necessarily like that.
Yeah.
The other part of this is that if you are already a high lucky, we'll call it, or if you've already gotten those officers maxed, you're now going to end up with a currency that is essentially useless, right? We're going to get transporter patterns that do nothing and have been doing nothing for who knows how long. So hopefully at some point they introduce some sort of conversion.
Yeah.
Because there are a lot of players that have that. Now, those players, I think, are probably going to stray away from trying to get these officers. They're not going to do the spend for that, and we'll see what happens this weekend, what those look like.
Yeah.
But I would recommend, I guess, still, and even kind of what Lawson is saying, is that if you want shards in general, and you happen to be trying to progress or doing something within the game, don't necessarily just be, shy away from that, right? For me, I'm going to be finishing the SMS, not because I want the officers. I'm going to end up completing the SMS because I want to upgrade my account accordingly. The byproduct is going to be that I get some officer shards at all, right? That's kind of how I'm looking at it. I'm not saying it's great, but that's just kind of how I'm looking at it.
Okay, Diklo.
This is the second time conversion's been brought up for transporter patterns. Any conversion for transporter patterns has to be basically 1-to-1 because so many of us have spent money on recruits and got transporters patterns from that. If they were to screw us over on that, I think that would be the last straw for me and many others.
Cool. Well, that's not available, so and that's hypothetical. So I understood that one. So I don't speak about hypotheticals. Let's talk about what's inside the game. At the moment, this RNG would be very useful for older officers, which I agree with. Like if you wanted to put a bunch of older officers, should be great. What they should do, the last 3 months officers should be in some sort of midway point of an officer depot token store type selection, right? And I think if they decide to do that, whereby you can make a choice about, having an officer depot selection of the last 3 months officer. So Malin, all the FCM people, all the Starfleet people should be in a chest, which is what is really important. If they ever do the transporter stuff, that's once if they ever do it, and if they do any conversion, then we'll look into that. Sniper says you would disagree with the value. Value is not just any epic shard is worth any other epic shards. If I get 20 shards of each of the 5 officers and unlock none of them, that versus 100 shards of the new officer and unlock it, it values completely differently. The unlock officer I can use has value. The 3 officers that I have 20 shards of each, especially those officers, just become transporter presses.
Yeah, and Nigel, he's not necessarily wrong, right? So that's the part when we start talking value, right? You're looking there, it can get dissected in multiple ways, right? Because what for me value looks like may not look like to Sniper, may not look like to an Ops 40, an Ops 30, right? So when we use that value part, that's where it gets real tricky. From the math piece of it, right? And again, not saying that it's right, but just kind of looking at it, the way Scopely does it, and I'm not agreeing with it, just trying to put out the facts. They look at it and say, an epic shard is $4 or $5 depending on the unlock, right? Like that's their value. They're not necessarily going to weight it. Now, whether they should or not, that we can have the discussion on, right? Where, a newer epic should be weighted higher. That's where you start getting into that RNG from their side. But strictly just straight from their side of it, it is an epic equals 4 if it's 125, or it's 5 if it's 120. I think, or maybe backwards. I can't remember, but it's either one of those.
Yeah, absolutely agree. Quasel, anything you can bring mathematically towards this? I just want to show people that maybe there is something that just needs a minor adjustment to sort of make this work.
I think we talked about most of it. It's like it's RNG, and hence we're getting a little bit of more. I don't think it's a good version of doing it, but that's maybe from the past where we had more guaranteed stuff, especially on new officers, because it's kind of now getting just randomized more. And it's for everybody to choose if they spend on it or not. I didn't. Maybe I will do, but I don't find a lot of value in it. But especially FCM data with loot bonus or armadas is always a thing people might go after. And in this case, Cochrane with the repair is a very useful officer too. Once you're having then PQ and him in lower decks, we're getting close to very interesting numbers of repaired stuff in armadas, in group armadas. So keep that in mind. That might make it a little bit more worth to people, because you then can select in your 90-year-old chest Ada or Cochrane if you want to go for it.
Yeah,
and
true.
maybe that helps you with an unlock.
Sniper, you managed to pop in. How you doing, buddy? Yes, go ahead.
Hey, good. Thanks. And no, and I appreciate everyone discussing the math of it, because it's good to understand, like on paper, like the cost of per shard and what that mathematically works out to be. But I think the thing we have to discuss, because when it comes to value, it's not only purely a math equation, or not, as simple a math equation, right? Because value comes down to a few different things. I mean, you can even argue value is a personal subjective thing depending on the abilities of the officers. But let's put that to one side. Even if you consider just the value as we have it, Scopely has always valued the current ARC officer as the most valuable, and it's always decreased from there, right?
Yeah.
There has been some things where PvP officers specifically have, I guess you could say, in the depreciation sense, kept their value more than other officers, because Scopely's always highly valued PvP officers, because they know, I think, the player base, always wants a PvP advantage.
Yeah.
But I think there's one other aspect of this, that we're like kind of leaving out. I mean, aside from, we can debate on what the value of Armada officers or an older Armada officers now, i.e. not this month or this arc. But there is multiple officers from this arc, and what part I don't quite understand is why Scopely has chosen to release multiple epic officers, but not have events for those multiple officers. And like an event like they have this with like the Armada officers, I would see that as like an extra bonus event, a fill-in event, after you've done those. But they released 2 epic officers this month, but they only had, the first weekend, which for the first epic officer, but they have not had an event for the second epic officer. So why put this like filler officers, in my opinion, right?
Yeah.
and not have an event for the second epic officer that they released.
Yeah.
So that I think is another issue.
Yeah, exactly. I think that's that. Lost Tim wants to come in with a very serious point, apparently. I'm really excited about that. Go ahead.
I mean, I think the piece here, the problem with the math is that you rapidly have a depreciating value
Yes.
in shards because each officer you max
Yeah.
decreases the value of this chest.
Ah.
And there's no way for them in current state to address it. Transporter patterns are valueless, and choice tokens at this point or officer depot tokens are approaching the same. So although it's a good catch-up mechanic early for newer players, which has value and should be considered, right? But for me, the math that Quasel is showing, that shard count goes down every time I run the chest. And each officer I max, the value goes down and down and down and down, and I don't get a higher chance of getting the things that I don't own. And that's the piece that they need to tweak.
Yes.
We could, if there is a decision that they want to move to RNG from choice, that's their decision to make.
True.
What I'm saying is that if you're asking me to engage and buy a pack to address this, of course, each one you'll decide, but they are decreasing the value every week of this chest.
Yeah.
And they've demonstrated an inability to maintain these chests with reliability, cycling officers in and out. So you're going to just build up more and more and more officers that you have maxed, which decreases your chance and functionally decreases the shards you get.
Yeah, this is a very good thing you just said, because this is where the other side live, which I think would be interesting. Because Ghost Pepper said something quite interesting. I get it. So Loston made a very good point. It's like, if they want to do RNG, they've got to do RNG. However, they need to sort of rebalance the effect that happens when it comes to how people can gain the officer they want. Because at the end of the day, the lower level players or the free-to-play players who are battling to try and get there, they don't want to lose on the fact that they are probably used to doing RNG stuff all the way till the massive high ops that Ghost Pepper off is what is she again? 37, 36. No, it's probably slightly. Oh yeah, 48. That's the one. Yeah. Sorry. It's just because Ghost Pepper takes about 7 years to get to 48. That's amazing. 32. But what's really funny is that they need to rebalance it. The problem is if you rebalance that too much, a whale can just go, right, I've only got 2 officers in there I need maxing. I'm just going to absolutely attack that really aggressively, and suddenly I've maxed everything really quickly, while you've got the low-level player going, I just need 10 more shards of this officer because I need them for this arc, but I've got all these other officers that I need to max. So it's trying to find that balance. So it'd be good to hear, Shockwave, you've got a point here. Sniper, you've got a point. And I'd love to hear from Mufasa and Ghost Pepper as well. Shockwave, go ahead.
I think something that Sniper said kind of rings out to me a little bit, and that's the type of officer that they're running this weekend, and what they were running last weekend and the weekend before that. And it goes to something that I kind of said last week about them not knowing exactly how to market lately.
Yes.
And I think that that's one of the identifiable opportunities that we kind of need to work with or kind of, mention, because lately, and when we say market, it's not just packs, right? It's not just $99.99. Scopely sets out events that they wish for the player base to participate in.
Yeah.
And they are marketing those events to us. And much like any sort of pack that we might buy, we can choose to buy into the event, whether it's a freebie or whether it's a token base or a ticket, or we can choose to not do that. And I think with, when they're marketing events that are, are officers now for arcs that are, approaching 3 months old, like the one that we have this week, just with some Cadre tokens on top of it. I think it's kind of speaking to a little bit more of that they're not able to market, or maybe they're stuck on how to market. And I think what's happening here, and Lost In touched on this point, they are overvaluing the officers that they're coming out with.
Yeah.
Because, so we spoke the other day, one of the things that we were showcasing were PvP officers like the Academy Doctor, like Chancellor Ake, like Fake News Baraka, and things along those lines.
Yeah.
But those officers are a little bit tricky because their main focus might be waves, and their below deck focus is PvP.
Yes.
So you have essentially two functions, one for PvE, one for PvP of the same officer. And I think Scopely is not quite sure what to do with an officer like that, as far as from a marketing to an event standpoint.
Yeah, true.
And I'm here to tell them that it's okay to make an event like that, instead of giving us Marla Delin, or I think that's who it is, right? Mara Delin this week.
Well, people
it's
can see
okay
it
to
on
throw
screen.
Academy Doctor.
Yeah, people can see it
There
on
we
screen.
go.
Yeah, Marla Darling's
Yeah,
there. Yeah.
It's okay to give us Academy Doctor or Chancellor Ake, you know? It really is. It doesn't break into anything. It doesn't break into anything crazy, because most of the people that are going to be spending for that officer have probably bought the Athena. Maybe not, but certainly a good deal of them have. And they're going to start earning for those officers anyway. So I think it's okay at this point to go back to the old model, not just because it helps the player, but also because it makes sense. Whereas Mara Delin in this week's officer, for this week's SMS and SLB, really make a whole lot of sense. And I think that, when we talk about some of those identifiable opportunities, to the points that, Sniper and Lost In have both brought up, I think that's something that they need to consider, is to start marketing a little bit better so that players want to participate in these events.
Yeah, so one of the main reasons to see of this, I've had someone that just messaged me, they went through 8,000 of these tokens and didn't get the officer they wanted, right? Look at this, like Mara Dalin, I've got, so you get 10 shards here if you finish the material spend, right? And then in the SLB, you've got a chance of only getting 10 if you finish top, which I think is very low, which is one of our feedbacks was, why can't number one win one, second place all the way till 10th? Get the 272 and so on and so forth all the way down. You can see no major scorers in our one. But one of the things to be aware of is, yes, okay, they've done this. The problem is, and I think Putz just nailed it, he says first there was a standardish blue cadre, then there was a yellow cadre, then there was the Galactic somewhere as a function premium, then the TPs, now the officer choice, now is soon to be cadre and Paragon. All of the above neglected to the point of having zero value. This is not a trend, this is a law in their universe. Copley chooses not to maintain their officer sourcing. This is not news, this is just the latest in the 7-year pattern. But what we're trying to do here, Putz, is find a way to advise people on how to be the most successful with this, right? Because yeah, go ahead, Crisito, while I click on to the
so actually I was reading back in the chat, right? And one of the thing, and Lost In brought it up, I think the struggle is going to be that as long as they are tying their officers to a spend, if you will, right? And then not necessarily limiting that spend, because I think Lost In is onto this, right? And even Jim Pye kind of talked a little bit about this, right? So let's say, for instance, you or I, or what, I go in there and I drop, I don't know, whatever, $1,000 on it.
Yeah.
In my mind, right, just because I chose to go that route. Now, you can look at it at a PvP, PvE, and then split it out there later. But just generally speaking, for officer shards, if you go out and just say, hey, I'm willing to come in and give you the $800 or whatever that is for that officer unlock, then cool. Let them do that.
Yes.
Now, what you don't want to do is now tie that to the folks that are not spending at all, right? Because you got to have a model that's going to be fair and balanced for those folks, right? Like, you have to have that. That has to be there. But when you tie in the spend piece of it, they're going to continually run into this problem where, well, we don't want to just let people go out and buy it directly because that's going to be an unfair advantage.
Yeah.
Well, then you're going to have to just not tie it to spend at all, right?
Yeah.
That's going to have to be a fact. And
Yeah.
so when you keep doing that, bouncing between the two, you end up with, in this scenario, and Putz is 100% right, we used to have what we have kind of now, which was the Galactic, right? If you remember there, I'm not sorry, the Galactic, the Ultras. The Ultras were the model as of today. You would go in there, spend your Ultra tokens, and it was RNG just like now. Then it got to a point, well, hey, I keep pooling all of these officers that I already have. So what did they do? They said, well, we're going to go ahead and create transporter patterns.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
We don't want that to just go into the ether because people are like, well, wait, where's my, what am I getting out of this? And that's where they opened it. The problem is that they didn't maintain that. They didn't maintain the choice, or I'm sorry, the officer tokens model. And they didn't maintain it fast enough that the players who are spending, and I don't care whether it's a battle pass or just you're whaling out,
Yeah.
they're not maintaining those quick enough. And so what they're seeing there is people who spend a bunch from those who don't spend at all are saying, whoa, that's an incomplete fair advantage.
Yeah.
But at the same time, if you're dropping a mortgage, shouldn't you realistically get that speed to whatever it is that you're doing?
Yeah, yeah. Well,
right?
Yeah, yeah. Well, that aggressive spending or aggressive level is what they've done with G7. Like, there's a massive pigeonhole. So if people want to go and do that, that is their choice to do, and they should provide a sourcing method for those type of people who are willing to drop a mortgage. If it's okay, Cruisito, I'm going to get Zedacron on. He's been waiting a while. Yeah, Zedacron, jump on, and then we'll continue this as well, Zed.
Yeah, I mean, we're talking about an ARC officer. We're not even an ARC officer. It's not even this chapter that they threw in.
Yeah.
For crying out loud. What's Marla Durlin got to do with Academy?
Yeah.
And then we have this cadre recruit where it's how much ketchup is too much ketchup? We need to ask that question.
Yeah.
I mean, there's abundant sourcing for all these officers that is in these cadres for the most part. And it's essentially how much is too much?
Yeah, exactly.
They're not giving any real value to current events, current officers, things that actually matter in today's game and even in the later game.
Yeah. It's at the end of the day, that is one of the things, and I agree. I think they just need to readjust all of this because this month and last month have been the hardest to source officers I have ever experienced. Usually I get close and I'm like, okay, I've got a bit more. TCB Hawks is showing me a transporter pattern list of 31.1 million, which is insane. And that will be quite huge. What I'd love to hear from, before I go to you, Shockwave, is I'd love to hear from like the Ghost Peppers and the Mufasas as well, just to see at their level what their thoughts are, because, you know, being a G4 and Mufasa is obviously going to overtake Ghost Pepper eventually, but Mufasa being the speedy G4, it'd be good to hear from their point of view how this affects them specifically. Ghost Pepper, thoughts? Ghost Pepper 3. Oh, there you go.
1 second, I was trying to get into a less noisy place so that you didn't have a bunch of background noise.
Yeah, go on.
A lot of my thoughts I was typing in the chat, and I think that when it comes to the officers at my level or lower, and maybe even up into G5, yes, I know you're going to remind me, I'm not there yet.
Yes.
But I think there is still some value in the RNG because we can strategize around it with what we have.
Yeah.
So, for example, what I stated in the chat was that I can strategically max out officers that I know will regularly show up so that I get more transporter patterns so that I can max out the other officers, right?
Yeah.
And so that's what I'm doing to try and build mine up. But I can also see the value where eventually that's not going to work. Eventually I'm going to have everything maxed and they'll mean nothing. So I completely see how this is only a limited time value. The other part too, when we're talking about the cadre and everything else, and people are like, we have these officers, they should probably bracket those or put those towards the levels that can use it. But at the same time, it's still a game. You don't have to do anything that doesn't serve you.
Yeah,
you don't need to be involved in that part. It would be unfortunate if the only way that higher levels can get new things is buy them. They do need to look at some different structure for that part. I'm not denying that. But I'm just saying right now at my level, If you took transporter patterns away from me without a much better way to source this
Yeah.
strategically, it's going to mess me up.
Yeah, absolutely agree. Very, very, very valid point. Mufasa, Mega Cube Cubano.
All right. So, I mean, I pretty much agree with pretty much everything Ghost said.
Yeah.
Transport patterns are important for, G3, G4 players. Muzak said that in chat, or also, your mid-high mid-ops to your low-op mid-ops, we actually rely on those transport patterns to do things. So the RNG doesn't kill us. So yes, G6, G7 do need a different way to source things so they can target their officers that they need. But I mean, also at mid-ops, we have a dramatically better way of getting transporter patterns through our faction stores.
Yes.
Because once we actually max out our original epics, our Kirk, our Nero, and our Gorkin, we can sit there and farm transporter patterns all day long.
That's true.
So we don't need an RNG system to get those. We just need faction credits.
Yeah. Very,
at the end of the day.
Yeah. It's very valid what you're saying at that level, and people. I just want to make sure that they don't forget that. As we're always saying, do this, but we just got to be careful. But one of those minor changes could affect the whole player base, and we want to make sure that we can do a suggestion that doesn't affect the whole player base. Little Tim says, if I spend $1,000 on a spend event, I don't want to get 75% of my rewards going to transporter patches. If it does, then I will
Nigel,
yeah.
Yeah, sorry. Just one thing I want to, since we're on that, and Mufasa and Ghost Pepper brought up something, right?
Yeah, great.
Something that we've been kind of going down this path is that it's the G6 or the G7, right?
Yes.
Or the G4 and G5.
Yes.
I think what Scopely needs to look at is the spend versus the not spend.
Yes.
Now, granted, the majority of players that are in G7 have probably spent something, right?
Yes.
The majority of people that are in G6 probably have spent on something, right?
Yes. Yeah.
Now, we are getting to that point, though, and this is excluding the newer servers, right? But a lot of players have been in the game for a very, very long time. And we've got a lot of players that are in the mid G6 realm. I mean, Putz is kind of one of those players, right? That is plays the game a lot, but there's no spend. So they got to kind of look at it from a spend versus no spend, not necessarily a upper level versus lower level. Because as the game continues, guess what? If you haven't spent and you're going through, you may or may not necessarily spend. And those of us that do spend, we're probably going to keep continuing, provided the game works and provides us fun and entertainment.
Yes.
So when we look at it, we don't want to necessarily say, oh, it's G7, G6, even though I think we're talking about spenders versus not, right? So that's a key difference, and we got to make sure we keep that in mind.
Yeah, and
I do want to bring up.
Yeah, go on.
Go ahead, Nigel.
No, go on.
Okay, so I do want to bring up a counterpoint to that, Cruzito, and the fact that people in G3, G4, G5, you do have your unlimited players in there that stay in there forever and do spend an enormous amount just so they can place first on leaderboards, just to say they dominate. So going the spend versus non-spend route doesn't really calculate into that, does it?
No, and it definitely doesn't. And Lady Command says there was an officer token redeemed first year that was way more unfair for all types of play and kind of rigged. But basically, it was a cap on how many epic and rare tokens would be given out. So by the time Wales and Free to Play had bought and redeemed to get the officer tokens, there weren't any left for the occasional pay and pay to play players. Sorry. While this is better than that, there are better ways. So basically, they need to go back to the drawing board, start again, give us something very different so that it makes sense. Because the thing they have to realize about this player base is this is a player base of people that will look at the detail and the maths massively, and it is very important for them. For them to sort of have a look at. Indrik brings up a good point. He says there needs to be a catch-up for G3, G4, G5. But I know players who spend that are in G3 and G4 and it's not spent. And that's what Mufasa is sort of leading towards. I think, the ops first. Jeff Game says, I'm not sure how many easier G4, G5 can get with so many ways to get max officers up until the walk officers. They have Augment Store that gives them massive amounts of officer charge as well. Obviously, we didn't benefit as much as other people. It is fantastic. And Jules Verne says, it is Cruzito versus Mufasa, the battle of the beards. which is to get to that. French onion ring. I do like a French onion ring. They're really delicious. Says if excess officer charts keep giving transporter patterns, then transporter pattern officers need to be periodically updated to keep them relevant. I think the transporter pattern store should be a catch-up mechanics for G1, G2, G3, potentially to G4, where these are the officers you need to get. Put them in there. Let people be able to get transporter patterns to get them. That should be where it sits. And as we move up the levels, those more and more officers need to drop down and go into the transporter pattern and becomes there. What the officer depot setup, if they want to go RNG wise, they need to split them into 3 buckets. 3 buckets are quite important to do. So if you're doing 3 buckets of things, you need to have buckets where there is, the combat officers, the PvP officers, the whatever, and make the bucket smaller, not 117 in one, just to at least spread bet the choices of where people are going to go and stuff like that. Sniper, go ahead, and then we'll go to Shockwave.
Yeah. So I think, when it comes to this, right, we need to really think about what these officer and spend weekends are, right? Because I know a lot of times we say, oh, if the event's not for you, you don't like the event, just skip it, right?
Yeah.
And I think that's true for a lot of events and the core events. Like, it's hard for completionists. Obviously, we've talked about it many times. But I think something like this, in my opinion, as a spender, right? The spend weekends, like we know officers are important to the game, right? We know that officers are critical to the game, especially now with them requiring certain officers to do certain things and certain officers not allowed to do certain things. I don't want to open that whole band-aid, but officers are critical to progression, especially at higher ends of the game where you're taking on difficult hostiles, and you need to have certain officers and you need to have them at certain level, especially in PvP. So, in my opinion, spend weekends are a core aspect of the game, if not the core aspect of the game. So it is not the type of event that you could say, oh, just skip it if you don't like it, right?
Yeah.
Because the problem becomes if you skip these events and you keep on skipping them because you're waiting for a quote unquote good event, right, that you can spend on, what you're doing is you're essentially not progressing, right? Because if I'm saying, oh, I have enough mats and whatever to progress to get to my R&D building or to get to my shipyard to build the next ship or do ops up, right? Or maybe I'll buy some packs to get to the point where I can ops up to the next ops level, but I'm not going to do that because I'm skipping this event. So obviously if I'm skipping this event, I'm also not buying the packs because I'm not going to, use the materials. I don't need the materials. So I'm going to wait for the next one. And then if the next weekend spend event is bad, then I'm going to wait again and I'm going to wait again. And eventually, what you're going to get is you're going to get players that are fatigued and tired of waiting for the good event to come. And they're just going to say, hey, I'm not progressing. I'm not getting the new officers. So I'm not able to participate in the new content. So I'm just going to quit, right? And we've been seeing that, we've seen that on our servers, we've seen that on our alliances, players that are just throwing in the towel.
Yeah.
And so I think Scopely does need to do something, and sooner than later, to address that. They can't just say, oh, okay, let me just keep on throwing out terrible spend weekend officer sourcing after terrible officer sourcing after more terrible officer sourcing.
Yeah.
They need to. Players want to get the latest officer, right? If you release something, they have this whole thing where they're like, okay, we're going to keep communication close to the vest, and we're going to only tell you like right the day of or the day before or the arc, what's happening, right? So you can't build up that level of anticipation, say, hey, we got this new officer that works with this month's content, but we're not going to actually make it possible for you to get it unless you buy like $20,000 worth of tokens and pull the slot machine 1,000 times and maybe you'll get them unlocked, right? Like that's not a workable methodology.
Yeah, exactly, and I think that's a very good point. But also, there's some good points like Fieldine. I love you, Fieldine. You always crack me up when I see you in private. They say they need to add some sort of double wheel for transporter patterns for those. Obviously, this is speculation. These are things that they need to do and do that. But Fieldine to add resources, power, BPs, all that sort of stuff. Yeah. They could provide things like that, but these are all things that we don't know what they're going to do, how they're going to approach it. The main aspect right now is they need to fix the main thing with officer sourcing. So we have a player. This is a very good question for everyone here. We have a player, and if he doesn't mind me calling him, just give me the thumbs up if you're happy for me to do so, who is basically going to go from up 65 to 71 in one go. Right? And what he said is, I can kill ops 70. Well, I can kill 71s easy with my 65. I mean, my God, this player sounds awesome. But yeah, so Warzone, he's happy for me to mention him. So Warzone wants to do that. The problem is now, with the synergy being so off, like the Vengeance is Mine is on Tuesdays and Thursdays, but not the weekend. But then the Aphelion is on the weekend, and it kind of works out. Tony Sir's like, son of a. It was, you know, kind of complicated to try and figure out how to make this work. The thing that the advice that I would always give him is, I don't think you can go, this is my personal opinion, I don't think you can go to G7 without making sure you're at least within reach or accessible to the Vengeance. Right? I'm just going to say that as a sentence. And I think you must have the Vengeance, which means you must have a maxed epic, which means Warzone, you're either a genius at saving, and I've got way enough, but you can't go up. Shockwave, what would you give him as advice? I can see that you want to jump in on this.
I also have something to say about the tokens, but I don't want to derail this conversation. So to that player, I would say absolutely get your Vengeance, because the Vengeance, we've always talked about, even from the time that it came out to now, even though it was not officially ever stated, but it's more like a gateway ship between G6 and G7, because as it gets much stronger than the other G6 ships, like much stronger.
Yes.
So, and it can carry you further. And if you have a Vengeance, there are certain things that you can do where that may require 3 ships, but instead it requires maybe just the Vengeance, and it can increase your output or your input dramatically. So I would say to absolutely make sure that any player should get a Vengeance going into G7. It's not required, of course, but it certainly makes your life a lot easier.
Yeah.
And now that there are different ways that you can source those blueprints a lot easier,
yeah,
rather than just spending, most notably the outpost store, I think it's something that you can do. Now, can I go back for 1 second about the officers real quick, just to kind of wrap that up? Because
yeah, sure.
So Mara Dellen is probably, in my opinion, the weakest of the 3 Armada officers, right?
Okay.
So, and they are showcasing her this week in the SLB SMS. Now, here's the counter. You know, everyone up here is talking about choice and getting that choice in, and what do we do for, you know, expanding our officers and make sure we're getting the officers that we want or that we need. What if Scopely did something like this? And this is a what if, and I've been known to come up with a good idea or two every now and then. Well, what if they did something like this? Instead of giving us, you know, what I would say is a subpar officer, what if they gave us the things that they've already coded into the system, the Cadre requisition tokens on Cadre weeks, and the Paragon requisition tokens on the other, where the token where you get 1 and you can change that 1 in for 20 tokens. Maybe to first place they get 8, and maybe to second place they get 6, and third place they get 4, and so on and so forth. That way it still has that way that you can unlock a full officer if you come in first or second, kind of what, you know, Coda and even the old spend events would do. They would allow you to do that if you wanted to, but also you would also have a choice of whatever 3 officers were being showcased that week, instead of giving us, like I said, a fairly subpar officer. I think that that's a route that they could go that would offer value to the spend events, as opposed to say, oh, we're going to throw in this officer from 3 or 4 arcs ago.
Yeah.
and some requisite and some of the requisition tokens that are that you can throw at a gotcha chest. I think it's certainly a better middle ground if they are content and intent on staying at this packet or on this pathway.
Yeah, agreed. But one of the things I want to be wary of, yeah, there's so many different ways to do this. But that sort of puts the officers to one side. I think Mara Daly might be useful. I think Cochrane's definitely better. FCM Data is definitely someone you should definitely go after. Like, he is the one to go for. But there are some people that brought up some good points that I wanted to bring up to Warzone. So going back to the Warzone conversation, is that, people said, like I'll Be Back says, killing 71 in faction space or even Orions are different to killing someone in the killing 71s in the Veil. So you need to be wary of that. So and Warzone said that he's going to be 2 months in to G7. We can do that. Now, Jeff Games comes up with a different opinion, saying he disagrees, and he says, I went 71, was able to do my dailies challenge track without issues with a tier 10 Crencher, as I worked to tier 12 and then worked towards the Vengeance. So there is a path there that is useful to kind of do. So that's something that we've got to keep an eye on to sort of get things going. And that is a very important thing. I don't be... Jim PI says they don't need to reinvent in the wheel here, just bring the material back spend. So Warzone, because the Vengeance is in the middle, the decision you're going to have to make is the officers worth it in the weekend for you to go after? If you're going to go 65 to 70, then when you are at 70... it is critical you throw everything at the Vengeance's mine events on Tuesdays and Thursdays to get as many blueprints as possible with the most impact possible, as fast as possible, to get as much in there while you're using those materials. Listen to me here, because Jeff Games brings up a good point. Using those materials to build your G6 epic to tier 12. So that's where should be your strategy, where you get to 70 and it's not camping, but all your spend goes towards the ship, aggressively on the ship, because 70-71 is easy. You can just jump up. It's so aggressively on the ship to the point where you can raise, get that ship as close to tier 12 as possible. Tier 10 will be where you want to get to, like Jeff Games says, and then you can defeat the mission hostile, then move yourself up to 71. In that time, you'd hopefully be lucky, and you get all your shards in that time. And I think you're on it, basically, there. And I think that'd be something to sort of aim for. Yes, Crisito. Oh, Crisito, you're still muted or unmuted. But, oh, nope. Sadly, that's not working towards that at the moment. I was doing 4 trips, Jeff Games says. Depends, because someone built... a Vengeance, and then they no longer see the Vengeance BPs SLB. Yes, that's really important to sort of figure out. I don't know what's going on there, Crisito, but hopefully...
Is that better?
Oh, yes, it's working.
Sorry about that, Nigel. So one of the things, and I don't know that, spending a bunch of time necessarily on the show today doing it, right? But I think one of the things to kind of look at over the years with their officers sourcing model and their spend events related to those is the fact, like I said, you've got folks that, spend, or they maybe didn't compete previously, where they need to maybe utilize the transporter patterns, the choice tokens, the whatever it is, and kind of use those of, if an officer's been out for a certain period of time, you go into these buckets. Or if they go into, into a different bucket. And then the events themselves should be tied to a currency that lets you choose, if you will, which ones of those you're going to get, right? So for instance, sniper maybe, hey, I have all the previous officers maxed, so I'm only going to chase the ones that are going on today. That's great. But, then you have a player like, maybe myself or Shockwave, right? That don't have all of those. So I still want to be able to go get those other officers, right? And I get what they're trying to do by putting them in this with the RNG, but like players like Mufasa or Ghost Pepper, right? They want the ability to get officers that they haven't had the chance because they weren't in the game at the time. And so I think the best model has been usually when they went to, those choice or those officer depot tokens, where players could then go and pick whether it's the new officer, an older officer, or whatever it is. And I think that's the kind of way to do it, right? Go to a currency that then lets you jump in or out of those officers as need be. Then the spend events become more focused on materials or any of that other stuff. Does that make sense?
Yeah, absolutely agree. It's just one of those things that sort of does that. No, absolutely right. So, in very simple terms, let me go back to the basics, right? We managed to come up with a list of the things that we believe that would make a massive impact in the game today, right? And that's something that hopefully Scopely will look at, and they will do at least 6 of the 8, right? The same thing I'm asking here. Other than bringing back the Officer Depot tokens, what Cruzito brought up is a very good point, where there might be little buckets of officers like they've done before, might give people a better chance, maybe spread bet it a bit more. And then not giving people a choice means they can't make decisions on the progression. This is a game of strategy at the end of the day, and people want to make strategic choices about where to aim. The PvE player wants to aim towards maybe the Armada stuff that they're really happy with. And, you know, even with people trying to give advice to Warzone here, who says, I can kill the 71's V'gers, but they're still going, no, you've got to try and find different ways. We just need basics in the game to help improve the event structure rather than making it too complicated in the way that you want to pull the officer that you want to. It should be straightforward and simple. So let me give you an idea, right? So now you've got this material spend, and you've put it on a weekend where the Aphelion is on, right? So you're encouraging people to build a miner. What is really something that people need to focus on is you watch the numbers drop, because not a lot of people are going to put too much unless they want the shards. 10 shards is there. SLB, they might get another 10. Fantastic, that's 20. They might pull another 14 or something like that. That's 34, right? Okay, that's what they've done. Previously, you've taught us an SMS gives us 50, and then the SLB might give you the other 50, and then you wait for the next weekend. What you've done is now you're not even providing the officer of the arc in all of them. Maybe you're giving us 1 in 4, 1 in 3, or 2 in 4, and that's way too far apart. And that's something that definitely needs to be looked at. So improve the event structure so that you get more. Try and be brave and give, if you want people to get this officer, try and be brave and give people 25 at least. Okay, we can reach a compromise here, and put it every weekend for 4 weekends until a new arc begins, and then see what people do. Yes, Shockwave.
I think that, I think we're, brushing over a point, and I don't usually double back to my own points, but, pretty much what I was saying solves that problem.
Yeah.
You for first place, you give those 8 requisition tokens that you exchange for the 20 officer shards of whichever one you want. Second place, you get 6. Honestly, I think that's the way moving forward that they need to really give some thought to, because it allows people to unlock maybe an officer and then maybe bump up another officer, because they're still getting those 3 choices. So let's say you get first place.
Yeah.
4 of the 8 you could use for the unlock. And if you so wanted, instead of tiering up the officer to tier 2, you could unlock, you can bump up, because maybe you're 20 tiers, you're 20 shards short of tiering up Officer Y. And Officer Y is also on the requisition block. So you invest a little bit toward Officer Y. And then Officer Z, you're maybe 60 shards away from that one. So you decide to bump Officer Z up as well. So with that model, the model that I proposed, not only are you getting an unlock, you're also getting a little bit more. And that brings the strategy portion back into the game, because now players are able to choose a little bit more using the current mechanic, and also closely related to the old mechanic, to where we were actually able to certainly unlock, and in some cases tier up in the same weekend. But certainly, like you were saying, unlocking an officer is frankly the expectation of us as players each week, being able to earn that. So let's just go out and say that that's the expectation, because it is. So like I said, the model, where you do the Paragon recruits where you get the 300,000, that works too.
Mm-hmm.
But definitely instead of doing a Mara Daylon, you do the tokens that you can certainly cash in for one of the 3 officers, whichever ones that you want. I think that's the middle ground, and I would encourage Scopely to look at that if they're so dead set on staying with this method.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
But before you jump in, Ghost Pepper, I just want to read Risk Breakers. He says 25 is way too low. Max out the SMS for 25 for the main officer is too low. Needs to be at least 50. Okay. And Jim PI says you never needed the SLB at all in previous models for a simple unlock. We need to go back to a model where a player gets 100% finishes the SMS event in the arc and they get a full unlock at minimum. Yes, Ghost Pepper.
Again, I wanted to reinforce what you just that's typing at the same time, because we do need the ability to choose
Oh, you're cutting
for
up.
those that aren't wanting to spend. Oh,
Yeah.
I'm sorry.
Yeah, you're
Okay,
cutting
is
up
this
every.
better?
Yeah, this sounds better. Yeah. You're just cutting up at the end of your
Okay.
sentences. Go ahead. Yeah.
I apologize.
No.
I was trying to reinforce what he just said. It's actually what I was.
Think we've.
But
Yeah.
did you lose me again?
Yeah, I think we're losing you as you're doing the sentences. She's just like to
Okay.
reinforce.
Read my stuff in the chat.
Yeah.
Read my stuff in the chat. I'll mute.
Yeah, no problem at all. Lost in. Jump in, buddy.
Yeah, related but slightly different point here. I mean, the biggest issue is a vacuum of information.
Yes.
There needs to be better communication about what the real intent is, right?
Yeah.
If the intent is to devalue or increase the value of each shard by decreasing how much they give, then communicate that. Let us understand it and move forward.
Yeah.
And then we need to understand what the trajectory is, and we need to know what the plan is so we can make our own decisions about, am I going to invest? Am I not going to invest? Am I going to save? Am I going to buy in? How am I going to interact with this? And we have to move away from this like fog of war to try and trick people into doing things, because it just doesn't build a good sentiment. And tell us what the plan is. Let people strategize around it. And let us know where you're trying to go, because we're spending a huge amount of time and effort trying to provide feedback without really understanding what the intent is. We're inferring it where we think we understand it, but we may be missing it in many ways. And I think that's part of the problem here. And they're very mixed on the communication, like Paragon's never coming back, Paragon's never going away. I've heard both. Right, and then Cadre is a one-time deal. No, it's coming back every week. I don't know. Is the chess going to remain the same next week? Is it going to be different? Don't know. And I think those types of things really amp up the anxiety around this.
Yeah.
I think people can adjust to a new reality as long as it's stable. I think, and at least tell us where you're trying to get to so we can understand it.
Yeah, no, I get it, and I think people are just coming for hope. So let me try and explain where I was trying to get to, because we're going round in circles, and I love the passion, people. By the way, I love how more people DM me during a show to try and derail me more than anything in the world. So I appreciate that, because it definitely sees whether I can do 2 or 3 things at once. The main thing that people need to realize is we're all trying to push too much, too far, and have different opinions of where to go, right? So in very simple terms, right? So let me bring you up the 8 last week and the last stream, and I'll explain where I'm going to go with this one. So we said, for example, fix the game today, Lost in, right now. One of the main things that people have got to do, which is absolutely amazing. Damn you, Lost in. That was such a... because I respect you as an uncle, you don't DM me that. No, I'm not listening to Lost in anymore. One of the most important things is forbidden tech to go from 55 to 60 straight away. Right? So you either provide a 5% mechanic, 10% mechanic, or just give us the chest to pull it out. That will improve everyone's day today. Let the Commodores and Admirals be able to write a personal message to all their members at once. Just let them do it. They've got the code for it. They just need to move it across. Make a little announcement like a Maya bot. Let us even give it a name. Let's call it Lost In. That's important. Give us a hostile counter on the screen right next to resources. Incredible. Give us a symbol for housing like Cruzito suggests for Armada, like they do for Armada's mining hostiles. Absolutely incredible. Give us a choice. And this is the thing that they've got to decide. These are the choice ones, right? Other than the ones they've got to fix, these are the choice ones. Return the Officer Depot token store where you can choose officer and put officer badges in them. Also, update the Ferengi store. You can do that today. Update the multi-phasic credit. You can do that today. 20% inflation on everything. Syndicate 71 to 80, improve the buffs. People will be happy. Then, in the winners thing, this is the key to this officer thing. Update the winner rewards in all events to include more players. For example, first place gets top reward, right? Give first place 25 shards or 50 shards or whatever. They can unlock the officer from doing the SMS and that. 2 to 5, give them the award for second. 6 to 10, give them a reward for third. 10 to 25, fourth, and so on. What that does is you're spread betting and allowing more players to have a chance, and then the spend will go up. And I'll tell you why, because the RNG is not as powerful anymore. And you can be like, well, cool. The SMS gives me close. The SLB will help me unlock. I'm going to push in the SLB. And maybe in 2 or 3 of these, I'll be able to do that. You can have your Paragon, your Cadre, your everything in every way possible to achieve that. And that'll be there. Then we told them update the 7 and 30-day loyalty choicing chests. And why? You know how we've got all these old officers? Why not throw in some officers that people haven't had in a long time that are vital in the game? The SNW officers that some of the people can get. Yes, you can pull it in the Mantis thing. Throw some of those in. Then here comes the big quality of life improvement, right? This is tier 2. And this is where now the officers is fixed, because what you've done is you've given 25 to 50 an opportunity to get some shards rather than no shards. So they can chase that officer if they don't. Also, you have stopped sourcing the officer of the arc. How many times have we not unlocked a rare officer? So why don't you provide 5 of the epic, 5 of the rare and 5 of the other rare, and off you go. Start us off like that. Give us hope in chasing. When you have an SLB that'll give you something quite interesting, and you've given 25 players a chance to get it, watch the spend go. If you only give 1 player a chance to get it, every server's got a whale, every server's got a Lost In, and every server's got people like that who are impossible to get to. And then that's when you will open the world to that. Look at that simple fix, right? All I said was change the rewards from 1, and then 2 to 5 get second, 6 to 10 third, 10 to 25 fourth, 25 to 50 fifth, and then 50 to 100, you give them your excess, right? Your 1 or 2 shards. That way.
And Nigel,
go ahead.
And along those lines, right? If you notice, and I don't know when the last time we got an uncommon or a common mindless, right? Or much less. But that could be a way for them, right? If they truly want to, right? You have players that are going to be PvE focused. You have players that are going to be PvP focused, right? And I fully believe, and I am on there, where PvP, for the most part, should be pay-ish, right? Whatever that means, right? I think there should be an opportunity for free to play to get it. But that's the competitive piece, right? And unfortunately, that's going to mean you're going to probably spend. But for the PvE side, that's just, hey, I want to come in and play the game for the sake of playing the game. And that's kind of how it used to be for the most part, right? We used to have our epics that were like the big money thing, right? The loot officers of those.
Yeah.
But now everything, whether it's PvE or PvP, is all epic. There's rarely any rares, right? We hadn't had a rare until these ones in a long time. So why not just kind of work that? And that's kind of that different thing that you can pull off, right? Where it's like, hey, your rare are going to be your free-to-play-ish type stuff. Now, you can go and get it relatively cheap, but they went away from that model. And I know Rev has talked about it numerous times. Like, why have they gone away from that, where now everything is epic, which means it all has to be a $400 value every single time?
Yeah.
Right? That's the part that they could make changes on merely just by changing the label or the things on that. And it makes it simple to what, like Lost In was saying, is we can kind of have an idea, a plan, and be able to go after certain things, right? If I want to go chase that epic because it's going to do this, great. That's where it goes to your spend.
Yeah.
But all these other officers, right? The rares and the uncommons, those are supposed to help us get along through the game and entice us then to spend, right? Like that they're missing the whole model.
Yeah, exactly. And I think the Crazy brings up a point, like they go heavily into monetization without realizing they're affecting the whole balance of the game by doing so. So having those little changes whereby people can get better rewards in an SLB, people will look at SLBs again. Right now, when you look at an SMS, you're like, hey, I've just got to do an SMS and that's all I'm doing. But the SLB is there. So they have looked at all those points. Those points I brought up, I've come back with rave reviews, big thumbs up saying, are you sure that's all the players want? And I'm like, yes, because it's simple changes will make major impacts in the game. So like they've done with the bulk refines, everyone's talking about it, saying, oh my God, I can bulk claim this. I can do a search button. It's literally made my game better, but you've improved zero of the gameplay. All you've done is added a search bar and a bulk claim. And imagine why you can't. What if happens if you do those 8 changes there? Okay, the Officer Depot token, I understand, is one of the 8 that's a little bit out there. The rest of them should be a simple change that make a huge difference. Because as you do the Admirals, Commodores, as you make people's life easy every day, the game is pretty good, other than obviously the obvious thing, which is fix the lag, fix the Kishara, fix the Dauntless, right? Those are the things that will always be structurally in the game that they need to fix. And also, I like the fact that something is wrong that pops up every so often. It makes me crack up because I'm like, well, at least we know something is wrong is popping up every so often. Now, let me add to this, right? Let me add to this. Scopely, if you are listening, and if you're not, I hope someone in replay will listen to this. Little changes that could continue to make this better. I've already given you 8, which I think would make a difference. I know the Officer Depot is the hard one. Fine, understood. Would be good to have a discussion. Hopefully, the official CCs, MJ Hat, Quasel, NetNiv, all of them will jump in. And then, you've got people like Rev Juice is obviously speaking to the SVP, and so is like big streamers like Ultimate DJs and Lube and so on and so forth, right? Those people, right, while you're doing this, rather than trying to go, I want an event that does this, I want an event that does this. Here's the next thing. People, just every single day, if you want them to click on the web store, why don't you give them a 1-year transition period for your 2-factor authentication so that people can use passwords right now? It's just like that one change makes everybody happy. The next thing is, for our G7 players, sorry, I'm going to talk about G7 for a brief bit. All these people have worked really hard, spent all that money on the Vengeance. Why not give the abilities in a converter part section where there's excess parts, they can spend it on the summon, on the cloaking, and on the jump, and also allow them to get BPs for a second Vengeance if they wish, right? Nothing wrong with that. You then have not got an inventory that's getting bloated, and you've given people an opportunity to progress in whatever choice they have. It then entices me, Nigel, to go, do you know what? I'll spend a few £100 just to get my Vengeance up to max, because I now know any excess parts, I can get the sourcing for the summoning for those parts and those things. Little things like that make huge differences. Then, the other thing, my God, would you please, in the G6 section, please put a slider on the ship part converter. Please. Just do it. Like, just any slider. I'll even take just 5. It's fine. But my God, do I have to click one at a time? It's absolutely insane. And then Little Tim says, faction bulk refine officer search are immensely popular with everyone. That's hope. Mashed Potato says, no, Officer Depot isn't out there. It was a feature we had for 12 months. They even have to argue this. No. I'm not saying I'm arguing this. I'm just saying in my head, Nigel only, nobody else, thinks in my head, sure, that could be the one that requires a little bit of a discussion. Fair enough. I don't say that they haven't argued or said anything. They've said nothing in return regards to that. I just think that let's find a compromise if that is the compromise to do, if you're doing the rest of these things. The other thing, right, here we go. How many people have lost SLBs due to ties? Please find a way to break ties or give everyone the same reward if they finish the same. And why does the last person that pops in, yeah, Warzone, I would love a bulk a ship build so I can just take a ship from 0 to 1 click. Absolutely agree. That would be something. But again, it's mechanics that are already in the game. You can do that with buildings, attach it to ships, right? Move the code over.
You gotta be careful with those things though, because, for example, the new Ascension research,
yes,
it requires you to build your D3D ship. You know, for example, I had one that was maxed tier, but I hadn't maxed the level, so I instantly did bulk. You know, thinking take it to max it and then just do my thing. No, it didn't work for it.
Yeah, exactly.
And then a friend of mine in my alliance did the same thing, but only took it to tier 5 and was able to do the tier 2 research. So that's something else to be aware of. Don't bulk upgrade your ships if you're building them for the Ascension tree.
Yeah,
because you will skip the locks.
Yeah, a lot of people want to skip from 1 to 1 off the end. But just because this is how well NetNiv, thank you very much for that point, NetNiv, to the point that Wahuka 420 has followed. The moment he heard you, NetNiv, he went, Wahuka has followed in. So Wahuka, welcome in to this madness. Regarding the SLB ties, I just need to figure out. Also, what the mod does in the game should happen in the game. Just saying, the mod does amazing things. And then, NetNiv, you came to a good point because I was going to bring your mod up. What the mod does in the game needs to actually happen in the game. The extreme zoom, the 1000 for the claims, all the things that the mod does should be in the game. So, you know, hopefully they can go to, hi, Senor NetNiv, blah, blah, blah. We like what you do. Can you help us out? These are a few things that would be really useful. Sorry, I'm not reading Discord. I'll read it in a second. But I just need to get to my final note. And then the final thing I requested, and I said to them, you haven't upgraded Sigma FC sourcing for ages. Why isn't this being upgraded now? Not everyone wants 20 a day or 40 a day. It's a chance for people to upgrade to Sigma. Could it be something that they can add this in everywhere to do so? Littleton says Officer Depot equals Cadre. The only difference is that there's only one bucket of officers, whereas Officer Depot has specialized officer groups. So no one cares what it's called. Why it's so important? We can do that. Well, you have those buckets. Maybe you can give those an option. And those are the little changes, right? All these requests, nothing's ridiculous, would improve the game. The one thing you could do, and you could do it today, is do a Jules Verne. And you know what a Jules Verne is? Go to the IA building, click on an NX01 and make it 61 plus. Just do it. Just, regardless of your explanation, just do it for the players today. And eat a cookie while you're doing it. Yes, that's the Jules Verne tactique. Spacebar attack move is epic in mod. Why can't that be in the game? All the cookies. Exactly. Little changes make huge differences. Nothing we've asked has improved battles, has made you change any of the screens, has ever made you do anything insane. All of what we're asking for is really, really small. And then that is important for you to realize that the small changes will make bigger impacts later. Then you can bring things like efficiencies. Then you can bring things like, you know, the sourcing for other stuff. Then you can bring stuff like the Maverick task syncing properly. Then you can bring stuff like, you know, special packs for the Athena and so on and so forth. Those are things that are really vital in there. Oh, I just realized that there's more people on the stage. It just shows how much I haven't seen that. Tech One, jump in, buddy, because I see you first.
My point that I was going to make goes back a little bit to what Lawson was saying about intent.
Yes.
The problem with them is they're not consistent. They've given us intent before and then changed their mind and tried to gaslight us saying, no, this was always our intent. That wasn't our intent. This is our intent. And the IA was the perfect example of that. Back then they said it was just to get rid of loops so you don't have as many clicks every day. Now all of a sudden they're saying, well, no, it's only till we think it's no longer useful to you or something. I didn't even really truly understand what their new intent was, but they're like saying, no, that was never our intent.
Yeah.
Well, then why did you write it back then? Why did you tell us that back then? Now you're changing your story.
Yeah.
So if their intent is not going to be consistent, then intent completely goes out the window.
Yeah, but right now I'm going to them, do this. Just do this today. Like tomorrow, sit for 24 hours, discuss it, list of 8. Okay, 7. Then you can discuss over the depot token with the official CCs and ask them their genuine opinion about it. and then do it. Do those 7 changes. Those 7 things are a copy and paste job, which will make monster difference in the game today. Straight away, everyone will be happy. Instantly, the first moment they do so. That's the most important thing, which is
I agree.
which is great. And then they do that, boom. Look, intent can change. Management can change. You're suddenly not fighting for the Champions League, your Premier League. Trust me, I'm a Blackburn Rovers fan. Intent changes all the time. I mean, we brought Tony Mowbray back. Not that anyone knows football here, or soccer.
But if you are going to change your intent, totally cool.
Yeah.
But be honest about it.
Yes.
Don't say no. That was never our intent. Well, it was.
Yeah.
But be honest. Say, well, that was the intent, but we see that there's a different way to do it. So this is the way we're going to do it going forward.
Yeah.
I'd appreciate the honesty.
Yeah.
I don't like being gaslighted. I think that's probably where I'm going. Is I
Yeah.
just don't like.
I agree
that
with
was
you.
part of the point, though,
Yeah.
is that they need to be consistent and they need to stick to what they say they're going to do. They need to earn back and
Yes.
be trustworthy in their communication. So it's one thing to say this is my intent, and I agree, Tech One, that they've said stuff before and then come back and said no, maybe not, and they've changed. And it's okay to change your mind, but say like, we made a mistake. We thought it was going to be this. It didn't work. This is why. This is what we're doing. People can understand that, but they just need to be. They need to be more consistent and stick to something. If they're going to change something, stick with it. Don't cave the second 5 people jump up and down. Like don't cave because I say something or someone else.
Exactly. Yeah. That's kind of what I'm saying. It's exactly what I'm saying. Is be consistent or be honest.
Yeah.
You know, don't
And
surprise
Nigel,
us.
Yeah.
And one thing, Nigel, too, well, I appreciate everything you guys do and the official CCs and everything else, right?
Yeah.
I love going to them and getting all the information.
Yes.
But the one thing that Scopely needs to do is communicate themselves directly, right?
Yeah.
I get it that they're going to kind of feed you guys the nuggets. But what happens right now, a lot of times, is silence from them. And then everybody else is kind of like, well, what I heard behind the scenes and what I did this, right? And there's and everybody else then starts inferring or implying, and then we come up and start inferring and all of that. Versus, it would be simple if, I don't know, they said it. You know what I mean? Like, it's real simple. Hey guys, yep, we understood this is what we said. Here's a blog post that we're going to do. Boom, right? Put it in the in-game news, put it everywhere.
Yeah.
And they communicate. Now they've been getting better, so that's good.
Yeah.
But that needs to come from them instead of making you guys come out there, say things or put it out on the CCs, only for them to be like, oh, well, yeah, we didn't have really all the information.
No,
well,
but
great. How about you tell them, Scopely?
Yeah, no, but the number one thing is like, as Little Tim says, we have to stop focusing about talking what they need to change in their approach. People resist change. We need to present it the way, like I've just presented those things I've said to you. None of those things will destroy them monetarily in any way. All of those things will upgrade the monetary value. All of those things will make the game easier to log into. All of those things, like the 2-factor authentication, so people could just log in. It's a simple thing, but it just makes people's lives easier. You do that today, you achieve it today. It doesn't break any laws. It doesn't break anything. People can use passwords. They can do it however way they wish. Some people are old around here. I mean, Lost In is like, like literally a granddad. And you know what I mean? And like
73.
Yeah.
73. That's why the name is 73.
Yeah, exactly. And those little things, Lost In, make a huge thing. To do so. And those little changes, now it's up to 14 changes. You do this 14 changes, you watch this game improve dramatically tomorrow. Then you've won everyone's sort of loyalty because the game is working really well. Now you can go fix Kishara, Dauntless, and really get into the nooks of it and try and find out what the main issue is of that, because that is the critical part of the game where you have time. That is really important to do. They get the credit for a good idea without having to sacrifice that. Exactly. Bring back the Mega Cube, Dundas says. Absolutely. Hell no. I can see the Beach Whales.
Hell Mega Cube.
Yeah, Beach Whales put his hand up. Jump on in, buddy.
No, I was just going to comment on something Cruzeiro said, but he actually expanded farther, and he said exactly what I was going to say. So all
Brilliant.
good.
Amazing. Thanks. That's really good. Rusty Halo said we shouldn't hear something from the CCs that we aren't also hearing from Scopely, preferably first. Yeah, the official CCs. Yeah, definitely. Absolutely agree. Doing certain things like players are asking for helps make it less chance that we will walk away. Exactly. Make the game easier to log into. Make the game easier to play. Make everything every day. Like, you know why people are playing the game more today? They're playing the game more today because they can now bulk refine all these clicks, and suddenly they're going, yeah, I've got more time to play now. Oh, I'm really enjoying this hostile killing thing. Or, oh my God, I'm going to do armadas with my teammates. I'm going to say this word, no one attack me, because I don't do them. And they've just asked me literally right now, and I said, hell no. You can go and do surges, which could be fun, in every way. Because, and that means more people will continue playing if you make small incremental changes that give you time to do the big fixes later. The big fixes later
Only crazy people don't like group waves and surges.
Wait, you like surges, Netniv? Of course you do.
Yeah.
I mean, you're certainly a surge of personality there, Netniv, and your surges. So, ladies and gentlemen, Netniv loves surges. So, Oh, look, 500 people unfollowed the community mod. Oh, how strange that happened
Look
at
at that. Even Mufasa agrees, doesn't he?
Wait,
Nigel, sorry. I do surges every single weekend. I put the dauntless out there and I launch it and go. Just saying. Sorry.
So you love the community mod. Okay, I get it now. Group ways, free to win. I'm kidding, of course. Or open armadas. Hey, Flossie, I had to do it for my alliance. Some of my alliance mates are actually catching up. So Tech One says, bringing back a single official spokesperson that communicates openly and regularly and whose information is coming directly from management wouldn't cost them anything, can be done immediately. The list of quick fixes is fantastic. They just need to do both. I agree. I think there is who is our representative and what authority are they allowed to talk about? So unless you're the big dog of the big dog, you'll always have restrictions what you say, right? Because everyone's fearful, everyone's on the edge, and they're all trying to figure out where they sit now in this new structure. So that will be something that I think will be difficult, but we can certainly ask the question. But as official CCs, they've got a better chance of very important things. So, there's no doubt an MJ Hat or Netniv or Quasel will definitely have some sort of conversation and may portray that thing as something. We have an open invitation.
Nigel,
Yeah, here.
Here's a question on that, right? And again, not to try to get anybody into something they don't want to, right?
Yep.
But I would venture to guess that the official CCs get information from somebody that's official, right? And that makes sense.
Yeah.
But I kind of would look at it and liken it to, hey guys, we're going to get ready to send out this press release, right? Just like press releases.
Yes.
You're going to get ready to send it out to your reporters. That's kind of how I see the CCs to some extent, maybe not necessarily a great analogy. But that press release should be ready to go on official or on the official Discords and in the game. They push the button. Now the CCs can go out there and do it. Instead, what happens a lot of times is we'll hear it from the official CCs, sometimes not unofficial CCs, and then we get the stuff in game news, right? Like that just doesn't make sense to me.
Yeah.
By any means, right? Because the official CCs should be getting information from that press person or whatever it is. Well, they should have that ready to go, even if it's within 5 minutes or a minute or two. I get it.
Yeah.
But how does that not work?
Well, I'm not part of that world, so I can't really answer that. But for me, I absolutely agree with you. I think there should be, or you should let everyone know the same information so that people can then upgrade, tell the information to their communities in the way they portray their communities. Some communities are minors, some people are PvE, some people do PvP, some people do different aspects of upgrading and so on, different things. And it's really important. FCSC cannot be open to us because we don't agree on anything. So the message is not clear. And so no matter what they say, they have to deal with the blowback. So if they keep quiet, it is work. So it is less work. So it's quite difficult. And equally, Simon says, the information in the blog is different to the actual game mechanics. Yeah, true. I just think that there needs to be a communication balance act going on and hopefully a culture change, which I think, look, let's give this another week. Because by that time, you would have thought that he's done his route around not the world, but at least to multiple offices, and then can hopefully make a difference in how the change in aspects of the game is. Because we love it. Do you know what I mean? Like that one little change is what people enjoy and love, and that makes a huge things. And Tech One brings a very good point. He says, trouble is relying on information from CCs is just a game of telephone. Personal bias interpretation can affect the information. An official spokesman would literally be giving the info directly from management, so therefore it can be trusted. But they do have official CCs, so those people are definitely getting the information as correctly as possible and is vital to them. So we just have to little bit, like what I'm asking people is, I'm looking at it as I've seen a culture change that makes me a little bit going, like a scared dog going, okay, maybe I'll take a paw forward a little bit, just see how it happens. And those sort of things are now making me a bit nervous, but going, okay, well, if they continue giving me this culture change, it might lead to something. August Valkyrie, thank you for the 5 stream. Mufasa says, for example, one thing, maybe the only thing that Blizzard did right with Diablo 4 was during updates, they would have a live stream with community managers and some of the devs that worked on upcoming content. Then they would discuss it and give you the information how it should work and the intent. Then they would answer questions that are presented. That is true, Mufasa. They used to do that in the game, but due to the Q&A that happened probably now 8 months ago, maybe even a year, that's the thing that affected, like it didn't go very well. It was in text format. People read text in a weird way. That's the problem with texting. It doesn't give you the emotion behind it. The question that Little Tim has is the culture chain. Well, the culture change is because of everyone's feedback and how they're sort of doing it. And the culture change is because you've got a new senior vice president that's come in and is determined to get the structure of the game to work, which I think I commend him for doing so. And hopefully he will have meetings with various official CCs, get the feedback from their communities, use them as a barometer of sorts towards those things. And that'll hopefully get somewhere. And Chronox brings up a good point. He says that also only works if the team has even the ability and the will to present themselves like that for the company and the community. Communication is a job on its own. Hey, I'm happy they can come on this stage and we can do it like I did with Babu, right? You can watch the Babu CC one, which we'll do with David Ajala next, and we'll do it with Mo Barrel, is that I can close Discord off those people. Right? And I can just allow Discord for the people to speak to the people they need to. So they can feel safe, they can get the information, they can deal with it, and they can make a decision on what they want to answer or not answer. And that would work out well. So there's a safe space here. Also, the podcast, which is available as well, can be a pre-record. So if you're willing to do a pre-record before that, that's important as well. They can also do structured QAs and not open it widely. And that's the most important thing. Lady Command says, General Hoke says, we all agree changes are needed, but even if they did everything we ask, there are still enough people that are going to complain. If we earned 20 offers or shards of something, we're going to ask for 40. Just my take on, I agree. Which is why I said, maybe 25 may be a good place. Just at the end of the day, do those changes, make the game work beautifully. Like, I enjoy the mornings now. Before I'm like, I need a coffee, I need my avocado and sourdough toast lost in, with my oat cortado on the side and a little drizzle of hollandaise sauce on top of the scrambled eggs, just to finish it off, just to click on everything.
My God, how many people help you get dressed and bathed in the morning? Jesus.
You should know, Lost.
You are
They're
so
the same ones that come
pampered.
and help do your fighting.
The sourdough, but the sourdough's got to have organic butter on it as well, Lostin, just so I've
I
mentioned that.
really would have thought you would get here earlier to clean the fountains with that much help. Why are you always late?
Yeah, that is true. Yeah, exactly. And also, his Lady Command says, have a philosophy, hope for the best, prepare for the worst. We're not going to have the info ahead of time because it might change before they include in the game. Then some players cry foul and get me in drop out. Understand why it's not happening. Get it? Chronox does bring up a good point, says, I can imagine some of them cannot endure the feedback. That's the community managers. There's community managers for a reason. I will say, Tax for Scorpio says, he enjoys the claims now in the morning, and I get what I needed and move on to dailies. And that, you've given people extra time to play the game. see what we're doing netcode-scopely, and if you're brave, that's the question to you. If you're brave enough about the structure of your game, you know, take the login away from people. Make it available for bug claim without people having to battle for it. Make sure it is important to see what things happen within the game to help people play it better. And they now are enjoying, like SAS4 Scorpio is going, it's just really important for people to get through to their dailies, then they're on to the event, and they've got way more time to play events now. You've given people 25 more minutes in events. That is superb. Now, more people playing your game. Now you have to be brave enough to remove some of the restrictions that you've put down, because if you wish that the game is going to be, you know, important for people to do, then they need to do that. I'd love to hear, though, from MJ Hat. I haven't heard from him today. MJ Hat, anything you'd like to jump in with, buddy?
I mean, there's been lots of good things here. I'm just kind of sitting back and listening to the feedback that everybody's providing, and you know, there are certain things that I need to be selective here.
Sure.
I just in my eyes, maybe, and this may be a hot take, but maybe we're not always the ones with the right answers. I'm not saying they are.
Yeah.
But that's probably part of the problem and part of why we can't agree on anything. So I like what you've been saying.
Yeah.
I want to take said list.
Yeah.
You know, and kind of rework it and put it all together and put it in a presentable format. That is where I am at. Lots of people say great things, but until change just has to happen. And there's so many things that have come out, just so many things. I really don't even know where to begin.
Yeah, but the mood has
everybody
changed
here-
behind the scenes, right? The mood has changed
It
towards
has.
you guys behind the scenes. Yeah.
100%. 100%. There is, I don't want to use the term transparency, but maybe a little less opaque, if you will. It's definitely been a sight to behold. I'm about it though. More information comes to me, which and I know maybe that's not what everybody's after, and I understand that. No oil lost in, no oil. I honestly kind of feel like there was somebody that said it's about translation.
Yeah.
And personal bias and opinion. I agree with that. There is a lot of that. But there's also fact.
Yes.
And if I can give a little bit of fact at the end of the day, then I've done my job.
Yeah.
So.
And that fact, but also there's something that I call, like, Crocs Maximus, right, says, you know, never going to agree fully to varied ops, playstyle, spending amount, etc. Well, Crocus Maximus, I came up with 7 things on 180 people all agreed to. 7 things that improve every single person's game. It's very hard to get to that, but what that points towards is if we can, as a player base, just focus on one thing together, you can come up with a solution that everybody can sort of get to. Having those basic little daily upgrades. Yes, Crisito.
Well, and to MJ's point, right? I think the one biggest thing that we have problem with is it's not so much that we don't get any messaging, right? I think that when we talk transparency, right? And MJ is right on some cases, right? Everybody talks about the customer is always right.
Yes.
But there's always another piece to that everybody forgets, right? The customer is always right in their perception of what it should be. But that doesn't mean that they're necessarily right in what the outcome actually needs to be, right? There's a big difference, right? We can sit here and say, hey, we want all of these things, great, and we get them all. And then the game shuts down because it can't make money or it can't do whatever it is, right? Like, that's great. We got it all and the game's done. So there are some times where we don't see the full picture, and that's okay. But that also means they have a responsibility, if you will, and that might be a little strong, to let us know when they are doing things like that, right? Hey, guys, for instance, we've got the Kira Shara thing going on.
Yeah.
Great. Hey, we know that you guys have been wanting this. We know that there's a problem, but to be honest, we just don't know how to fix it just yet. but we
Yes.
will keep you in tuned. Great. Thank you. At least now we know what's going on. I don't care whether you're going to code this function, that function, whatever it is.
Yeah.
Just be communicated to us and tell us what's going on. Sometimes, hey, we need to change an event that, yes, it is going to be less beneficial to the players in the short term, but here's the long term why we think that. Boom, great. We may all go there, pitchfork and torch.
Yeah.
But again, that all comes down to communication piece, right? And as a company that's this big and that's doing as much money and everything else, and with the other guys and with the SVP, they've got to hire some folks that are actually, or not necessarily, or let the folks that are experts in communicating, right? You've got to have that press secretary, that team. That's what needs to be out there explaining the information. You don't want the devs coming out here and doing it. Some of us geek out on that, and that's great.
Yeah.
But we don't necessarily want the engineers come and tell us what they're doing, right? So they've got to have, again, open and lots of communication. And if you do that, then we will start to believe and trust them. But when we get radio silence, that's the worst thing that can happen.
Yeah, absolutely agree. And that's the thing. And like Crocus Maximus says, yeah, not everything, like the list that I mentioned, doesn't work for his gameplay. I'm like, so having a hostile counter doesn't, having, basic stuff to work as well. And I agree. And if there is more, Crocus Maximus, please do DM me, because what I'm trying to do is, we got a lot of people to agree that, the little things like Forbidden Tech to go up to 60, the Admirals and Commodore able to send a message, the hostile counter, the multi-phasic change, the Syndicate update, the winner's rewards, the 7 and 30-day chest, all of these would be, very, very vital things that can actually help, I think, everyone getting it going. Fuel Dean says, I said when they launched the Kishara that their ambition was outweighing their skill. That's quite funny. I like you, buddy. Chronox says, what business function would be the one or team that could communicate this? Exactly. And it's hard, which is what, they've obviously decided the official CCs would be the way and the route to do this. But right now, let's think short term. Do those things, get it fixed, get us going, then start moving on to the major fixes that, with the Kishara specifically, which I think is working because they reverted it, by the way, to the previous one. So if people still having issues, let's have a chat, because they reverted it to the previous part where it worked pretty well. So I think it's 95% there. I haven't had any issues when I've played, so it'd be good to know what people think now. So update your game and just double check that, which would be vital. Let's wait to see what happens on Monday, Tuesday, when they decide to sort of have a conversation about the G3 Ascension. Also, you've realized that communications have been done in a more official capacity with no emotions behind it, which I think is great. And that is really important. Android had an update that some might have missed. After Android update, I had to reinstall game. Exactly. And some, there's so many people with loads of suggestions that will improve their personal gameplay. What we're trying to do is do the things to improve the whole experience of playing the game today. And then you'll have time to do everything else to do, to upgrade it. I like the fact they added Ascension. I like the fact they're doing mid updates that are for the mid ops, almost give them their own starting arc, which would be great. So I think that's loads of good stuff there. It obviously needs to get better and obviously needs to improve. Hopefully they'll look at this list and say, wow, a lot of people have actually agreed to these things, which I think is very, very important, which I think is really cool. Thanks, King Zaza. Hawkeye says, I believe what would or potentially could help them is have enough support staff to actually answer reports, questions in a timely manner. I had one report that went to 2 different people, then went crickets, then also having more personal on the line gets them quicker to look into the state of the game and the issues. Yeah, true. But these people, General Hoke, I agree with you, are only people to log the issues in. You need people to sort the issues as well. Some of those people can't sort an issue unless it's like you're missing some directives or something really basic, but that makes important. And then RSDJ says, open the old holodeck missions and I will die on this hill. Yeah, why not? That would be something. Email SF ticket helps, Calimisted said. Loads of very good updates and loads of good things. There will be quite a major update by next Thursday. So I'm looking forward to that, and then hopefully we can all have a discussion and see where that goes. Warzone, I'm still waiting on them to help me with my bugged base. DM me, Warzone, I'll escalate that for you. Mufasa says, flip the toggle switch back on for mid-ops so that we can continue rerunning old arcs. Absolutely amazing. Little suggestions like that. That will get us through. But otherwise, I thought that got us to quite a good discussion to get us to a good place, which is absolutely amazing. And I've got an early filming day tomorrow. So, unless anyone else wants to throw the last few notes, I can switch across to marbles. Anyone wishes to throw the last few things? It's open now for you all. Oh, silence.
Retail.
Oh, hello.
Retail.
Yeah. Free who? Mi no comprende el español. No inglés. Inglés not number
No
one.
hablas inglés?
No habla inglés. No.
Retail, baby.
Who's Tal?
Sie Deutsch?
Yes.
Parlez-vous français?
Oui, je parle un petit peu le français. J'habite en France le 16 ouais, comme Bastien, très bien.
Don't call me names. Don't call me names.
Yeah. And also, MJ Hat, this is a message from Lost in Sus Mabit Salon, which is absolutely amazing. And everyone's like, oh my God, Nigel can speak French. That was quite good. General Oak, I know. No, it's someone else who actually knows that. Right, I'm transitioning onto marbles. Get onto Twitch. Remember, every subscription, every single bit, everything this month will go to Write Love on Our Arms. That was fantastic from them to do. Oh, no.
I heard
Nickname's
you
about to
don't
ruin
speak
it.
French. You just let the funky music do the talking.
Oh, dear God. Lost in, if you could just remove...
At MJ Hat. At MJ Hat.
At MJ Hat. Don't forget to move it. At MJ
No.
At MJ Hat. At MJ Hat.
No.
At MJ Hat. Okay. And this is amazing. You're going to get a Lost in mug. Wait, no one joined. You're going to get an STFC Briefings mug. Exclamation point play. Let's go, let's go, let's go. More people are pressing play now. Lost in, just throw that. I gave them 1 second. They refused to join. Just thought I'd confirm. Completely rejected your merchandise there, Lost in. I don't know what it is. That was that's stressful. Exclamation point play. Let's go, let's go, let's go. Yeah, exactly. And yeah, it's come on in. STFC Briefings mug, a chance to do some stuff as well. We'll also be giving away T-shirts today, which would be great. Lost in will. We've managed to finish Mini's Throne, right? So congratulations on doing that. Exclamation point on play. No, you can't do that, Lost in. Sorry, I'm not removing you off the marbles. We managed to finish Mini's, Lady Garden stuff. So I think that's sorted, which is amazing. Exclamation point play. Yep. Don't miss out. Don't miss out. Don't miss out on this discussion. Wow. Suddenly we jumped up to almost 200 people. I don't know where that came from. No, it's not a bot, MJ Hat, before you say anything. Oh, there we go. There we go, people. Jump on in, jump on in, jump on in. Exclamation point play. We're getting close to 100. Let's go, let's go, let's go. I'll keep it going. Don't miss out, don't miss out. And then we don't have the VIP hype train because I got a headache. However, there is a special hype train that if it did start, I was faffing around with things. I was doing a bit of faffage, Lost in. You like a bit of faffage? I did a bit of faffage. There's a bit of faffage. Might lead to something. Exclamation. No.
I like it when you faffage. I like it when you faffage.
Yeah, easy as pie. You made it. Now I need a Mac Taco mug. Yeah, exactly. That's be great. Broken Wolf for the 100 bits to get us going with a race. Where is the imaginary duck race? I don't know what that is. Quackers.
Do exclamation point quack and you can join it.
Yeah, exactly. We'll see how that go. Where's they did do quack. Where's that command? Is that gone? Negative.
I didn't get rid of it.
With 12, why 12? That's a really random number. 12 kicked off the hype train. We'll see how that goes. That kick off the hype train?
You want to know Lost in them random numbers? He gave away a ton of subs.
There it is.
And then gave one and triggered the hype
look
train.
at that. Hype train has begun. That was kind of cool, wasn't that? Oh, yeah. Hype train has begun. Right, I just need to change the altercation without that. I'll give people a bit of time to sort this out. I'm going to make it about that big. And I will just give me a second while tweaking this. Especially when play. Let's go, let's go, let's go. Which screen am I on? It's on this one. I'll just adjust the Twitch alert. Give me 2 seconds. There we go. And I'll put it in the middle here. Cool. Here we go. And transition across. Great. Fantastic. And let's start a marbles race. We're on 96. The last chance here. Exclamation point play. Let's go, let's go, go. STFCbriefings.com mug. Loads of choices to do from if there's really quick. Get yours in. Sniper sends us to the next tier. Here we go. The race begins. Let's see if some craziness happens here. The next tier of the hype train is gone. Here we go. The battle continues. Everyone's throwing stuff in. And 1,000 bits by Simon Says, and he dies on a death, but then kills everybody else. Gary Busey's in the lead. Gary Busey, you're here. And you just got bombed. And you're now out of this race in every way. 100 bits by Rage Starve. 100 bits by a Broken Wolf. 50 bits by Megan Rayleigh, trying to cause some madness to happen. You can see the Domo's in the lead. Domo's going ahead. That he's waiting for, he can get another win so he can sort of upgrade a few things. Few people are battling in the middle. Things go. It keeps us going with 100 bits, and we're on level 5 hype train. Wow, that skipped quite a lot of things. Here we go. And Q-Dog be lurking, and Lady Commander battling their way through. And here we go for that. Yeah. Megan Rayleigh's like, I'm here for minimal madness. I only want to hurt people a little bit, but not hurt them a lot. Here we go. Q-Dog be lurking, and Lady Commander working way through. Q-Dog be lurking while Lady Command's working through the slipstream. She goes past him a little bit and keeps us going. And now we're on 5 bits there by RSDJ. So we're going, thank you, RSDJ, thank you, RSDJ, thank you, RSDJ, thank you, RSDJ, thank you, RSDJ. That's 5. Lady Command's still in the lead. Lady Command's got to win this. But Q-Dog be lurking and Jim Pie. But then Ascendancy goes, I always win these races. So he's gone way ahead. He's working his way through. We're watching Ascendancy for far as everyone works out down there. Down to Snicket, Lostin. Down to Snicket. He's gone down Snicket. Do you like a snake? Do you like going down Snicket, Lostin? Snicket's a really fun place to go. And Ascendancy down Snicket, work his way down.
You end up down the Snicket.
Yeah, everyone loves a bit of a Snicket. Mini Mabel goes down Snicket every time. Here we go. Ascendancy, Fueladine, and Benny Hill's got stuff like that. 100 bits by Q-Dog Billerton cause some madness. Rusty Halo just died. Oh, Galileo Figaro, Velvet Thunder just died. Motion just died. Smurf 7 just died. But however, we've got Fueladine just bounces ahead. Fueladine's going to win. Fueladine wins. Fueladine wins. He comes out from nowhere, pushes the boundaries, goes really fast. Fueladine's the winner. And look at all these battles that are going on. 100 bits by Q-Dog Billerton could not stop him from becoming the undisputed winner of a random mug or a mug of his choice from STFC Briefing. We don't do RNG here. Lost in. People get a choice of what mug, at least. Or we should do an RNG mug. So you don't know what mug you're getting.
You don't do RNG on this race, so I can guarantee I'm going to win.
I think that's a good idea because nobody likes RNG.
Yeah, exactly. No one likes RNG. Fueladine, you know what to do, buddy. Congratulations on the win. Message me at XReach Point Discord. I think you're part of our Discord anyway. XReach Point Discord. Find me on the right-hand side. Nigel, exec producer. Click on my name. Send me a DM saying, I want a mug. And don't make a joke about the mug. Just ask for a mug. Congratulations, buddy. We had 17 winners. NetNiv, I think it's time that we throw a prediction in as we go into the next race. How about that? If you are there, NetNiv, to do so. Here we go. XReach Point play. Let's go. Number 2 out of 5. Unless something else comes in. Here we go. XReach Point play. Let's go. NetNiv is preparing a prediction. Hopefully he'll get that going in time. That would be amazing if he can.
I like a good number 2.
Yeah, well, I really like a good number 2 as well. Oh, wait.
It's great.
Yeah, you know what I mean? And especially when I get an ace, which would be amazing. Here we go. Your predictions are...
I mean...
Yeah.
Who does number 2 work for?
Works for number 1 because, but who does the wiping? It's number 3. And what does number 3? Callum instead. Come on in, people. Exclamation point play. Let's go.
3 is the magic number.
Yeah, lost in 73. Yeah, 73 times to do so. Come on in, people. Come on in. Exclamation point play. Let's go. Do your predictions. I'll give you time. 1 minute left on the hype train. We've got 2 subs to get us to the next level. 1 minute left on the hype train. I'm going to press start. Murphy, you managed to make it in time. You didn't go to bed, which is great. Retro Fury managed to make it in. Holly Hoyer, you managed to make it. I'm about to press the button. 50 seconds left on the hype train. We need either 620 bits or 2 subs. 500 bits are getting us closer. 45 seconds left with 120 bits or 1 sub to get us going. And here we go. Susie with 4 boosted. And she causes havoc in every way possible. What's she going to do? Sammy Stitch got dingled. Poker Jester got restarted. Rusty Halo got boosted. Some Freelancer got boosted. Susie Q got boomed. Lostin got iced, dingled, restarted, tickled, farted on, and slapped at the same time. And Austin went, ooh, I like it. JP's in the lead. Goo Gaga's in the lead. And you would miss that. Tony Third got a chance here to win. Goo Baby winning. Baby JP in the lead. Baby JP has chance here to win. Baby JP is taking a huge lead. Lost in is trying to confuse whether it's his daughter that's speaking to him or whether it's Nigel that's doing the commentary. It's confused the man to death while Baby JP's got a chance here with the Golem. And yes, Golem, you gotta go to this deeper voice. Yes, JP misses the whole thing with the bomb. He's working this well through the end. Oh, yes. My precious. I want him in this mug. But however, Misha just dropped from nowhere. Misha's gonna win. And then Mufasa's going to be sworn at the same time. Misha's going to win and she's going to say Mufasa doesn't know what a Mega Cube is because she knows what happens every single day. Misha's going to win and she's going to choose a great mug. Misha, you've got absolutely easy victory. Why did you jump over the hoop? No, you need to go through the hoop. Why did you miss it? That means Baby JP's got a chance. Out of nowhere, Baby JP's got the chance here to keep us going. 100 bits here by Luna Shadow, Just Kevin, Q-Dog be lurking, and Baby JP just jumped over the hoop. No, JP, you got to go through the hoop. Don't listen to Misha. You got to go through the hoop. Some freelancer's got a chance here. Some freelancer's got to win this. Definitely. No, he jumped over. Donny Sir's got to win this. Nope, he jumped over. MJ had to win. MJ Hat wins. MJ Hat wins. Oh my God.
What?
At MJ Hat movement wins. MJ Hat wins. MJ Hat wins. Can you believe this? It is unbelievable. Asian boy says it. It's oh my God. Everybody unbelievable. MJ Hat, the most popular person in the history of STFC at MJ Hat movement. So what you got to do, you go to every single Discord that MJ Hat is part of. You go at MJ Hat and put a message in there and do that.
No.
And then MJ Hat has now got to do that. But also, did MJ Hat do the double? He's won a mug, but has MJ Hat won a mug and the prediction, six finishers? Netniv, what happened?
Oh, no.
No?
I did not win the prediction. I did not win the prediction.
Dr. Juby is here. What?
Moshe did. By the looks of it.
Oh, right. Okay. Could you do it with more enthusiasm? Maybe just give it a little...
I'm going to tell you how you get the enthusiasm when I can actually see the value. I'm just selecting sport to 6.
Oh, here we go. Ladies and gentlemen, enthusiasm by Netniv. That is also a brand.
And, oh my God, he got 82,000.
Okay, that was... you know... Oh my God, Mosher is the winner with 82,000 bits. Congratulations, Mosher. You are the winner of that. MJ Hat, you know what to do. No, I'm not. Dr. Juby's not here. He's like, I'm Dr. Juby. I get my friends now. I don't care about Nigel anymore. Exclamation point play. And let's join this race to win another mug from STFCbriefings.com. That mug, if we can get the hype train to finish this level 6, we can get that transferred into a t-shirt as well. Let's help people out. The mug will be a t-shirt. Exclamation point play. Let's go. Let's going in. Dr. Juby may have a chance to win this. Dr. Juby may want to join in. Dr. Juby may finally, and guess what, Dr. Juby? The Canadian taxes are paid on the t-shirt, so you don't have to pay anything. Oh, Simon says with 5 gifted. Thank you so much, Simon. Sends us into the next level to write a love on our arms. I've got a fantastic opportunity. We got 89. Exclamation point play. Let's go. We got an opportunity here. Go. Let's go. Sniper got himself in. Dark Smith's got himself in. Fostis got himself in. Exclamation point play. Don't miss out. We're getting closer and closer. We've got over half of the people in here. Let's go. Don't miss out on this mug / potentially... Oh, no, it's the t-shirt now. Thanks to Simon Says. It's a t-shirt. Any t-shirt from STFC Briefings. Whether it's expensive, whether it's super cheap. An unsubbed user, Lost in, who is a subbed user now. So subbed user... So unsubbed user, who's also a subbed user, I think we need to change his name, is getting...
He's a subbed unsubbed user.
It's the subbed unsubbed user.
Best name on Twitch.
Yeah, exactly. You'll Eat Bugs gets himself in there. Everyone type at MJ. Oh my God. Ascendancy's made himself into the mix. Ascendancy, I thought he left us, but he's still here, which is fantastic news. Beach Wells in. Come on in. Exclamation point play. Let's go.
A great plan.
Yeah. What's your plan?
As soon as the match bell rings.
Yes,
ding,
it
ding,
rings.
Ding, yes.
Yeah, ding.
You will punch Corey straight in the groin.
Why in the groin? That's not a tactic. That's a weird tactic. Here we go. Highland made himself in. A chance here. I'm about to press start. T-shirt.
Sweet
Let's see how it goes. A Broken Wolf has thrown 100 bits to try and cause some shenanigans early. He wants an early destroyed. Look at that. That's wide open. The hole is wide open, as Lostin likes to say. The hole is wide open. Are people going to fall through the hole? No, they all missed the hole, i.e. Lostin on the night out. And here we go. The battle continues. 100 bits by Broken Wolf has caused aggro in everywhere. Look at that massive booster that came from nowhere. Contel just died. Sensitive died. Google Gaga has died. Martok just died in every way possible. And they're working their way through. Wristbreaker and Evil XP. Evil XP wins quite a lot. He's got a lot of luck here. He's through MJ Hat Roundabout, which is Mustachio Roundabout. Gary Busey just takes a huge lead and goes, you all suck. You don't even know how to take a roundabout. What are you, lost in on the night out? Gary Busey works his way through. And Antiosis just died. Wow, what a name that is. Gunnar Leak just died. Musher just died. MJ Hat Lostin just died. Let's pray for our God-forgetting king, Lostin. Orteca, Portequera, la Morcetitie, Espagnole, Elefantino, Decinio, la Becaterta, Lostin, Ateca, Ateota, Charporte, Chatete. Yeah, there you go, Lostin. That's your prayer for your death as we work our way through. And it worked through. Mr. Tony Sir is taking a huge lead. He says, with my car, I can drive past everyone. Sean Dog. And the massive spaceship thing is right behind him. Mr. Tony Sir and Shaw and Dog, you just went through the hole. I mean, you did something Lostin could never do, managed to do that. Bye, Gary. Gary just died in a really weird death. Mr. Tony Sir is now going right. No, the roundabout's the other way. Mr. Tony Sir, you need to reverse your way around. Yeah, Mr. Tony Sir, Wristbreaker and Beach Whale got a chance here. They're all battling each other. And then I'm right behind them. Beach Whale's going to win this. Looks like he's going to work his way through. Nigel's right behind. Wristbreaker's in there. We're all battling between each other, tickling each other, left, right, and center. Any bit, 100 bits by some freelancer to throw some curveballs in there. Don't test in production. Just died, which is weird because we do definitely need testing in production. Wristbreaker and Beach Whale are battling, and they're going there. Wristbreaker's got a chance. Wristbreaker and Beach Whale are battling between each other. Who's going to win this? It's going to be great. Beach Whale looks like he's going to win this. No, he just jumped over the hoop, and Wristbreaker jumped over the hoop as well. And Poker Jester just won. Poker Jester, you're the winner of a t-shirt from STFCbriefings.com. Come on in, Poker Jester. Congratulations on the win. Beans. Yeah, exactly. All beans, Atsuma, and all that sort of stuff. Poker Jester, you are the winner of an STFC Briefings. This guy, and Crazy's just celebrating that he didn't die. I mean, that's like really small things, small wins. Like we said with Star Trek Fleet Command. Give us small little updates to make a huge difference. And there it is. Poker Jester, you are the winner. Congratulations for an STFC Briefings t-shirt. Only 7 finishers. Hey.
You all right.
You are right. Congratulations. Just go to Exchange Point Discord, find me on the right-hand side, Nigel, and then just DM me, and you want a t-shirt, pick any t-shirt from STFCbriefings.com, send me a link, I'll send you a redeem in return, and Exchange Point Discord if you want to find us in there, which is fantastic. Okay, number 4. Race number 4, we're getting to it. Here we go, exclamation point play. Let's go. Let's get people everything they can. Last one to die, not bad. Exactly, RSDJ, you did very well. Exclamation point play, don't miss out. Doesn't miss out. Chance to win some merchandise in every way. 100 bits by Rage Starves early. He's gone for the early little chaos. Lost in is got himself in there. MJ Hat and Broken Wolf managed to get themselves in there. Let's go, exclamation point play. Don't lose out. This is going to be fantastic in every way. Retro Fury, Chronox Maximus has got in there. Hype Train success. We got to level 7. Thank you so much, everybody, for your kindness. It got us there, which is very, very kind, and that is really cool. We've done a couple of Hype Trains, which is fantastic. That will go to Write Love on Our Arms. And with your fantastic donations today, we have reached an outstanding £410 of donations. So thank you so much, everybody, for everything you've done to get us there. Exclamation point play. Let's go. Remember, 50 bits or more affects 2 people. 100 bits or more affects 10 people minimum. So, you could throw some chaos in there. I'm about to press the button for Chaos Tech Beach Whale. Anyone else? Exclamation point play. Let's go. I'm about to press start. Now, Broken Wolf has thrown a double. Rage Starve and Broken Wolf have thrown everything in there. Broken Wolf, it's just like Cottontail has managed to make it in by just putting an emoji in there. I present you with my emoji. And here we go. Cottontail is battling his way through. Here we go. Warzone, who wants to go from up 65 to 100. Look at that massive, huge sort of thing that got in the way. No one understand what's going on. Warzone, you just got exploded. General Loki just got exploded. Some freelancer got a boosting. Beach Whale, you just died. Twin Fango just died. J-Babes, you just died. Ostis, you just died. Evil XP, Sammy Stitch, you just died as well. However, we have Warzone and a few people just battling themselves through. Who's going to win this battle? There's some fun stuff going on here. Warzone's working his way. He's trying to get past everybody. What's Warzone going to do? But it's Maflat that's in the lead. Maflat deserves to win something. But then Warzone and Maflat are battling each other. Susie Q22. Look at that easy win that's over there, Niv. It's just you've just got to go down the hole. It's an easy win. But like Lofton says, not every hole is easy to win. So, yeah, okay, we'll agree to that one. He's a doctor. He must know what he's doing. Maflat's gone ahead. 1974 DP. Maflat's got in ahead of everybody. But let's go at the back and see what Crazy's doing. Crazy's still in there. He's trying to work his way through. Crazy's worked his way into round the corner. He's trying to get in there. But lads, we see Holly Hoya coming down that corner as well. She works her way through. Dr. Training just died a death beyond anything else in the world. Nice to see him, Dr. Training, in there. But we're getting people that are going to get ahead. Broken Wolfen's there. People are there. And now we can hopefully go to the front, people, as they battle their way in. Down to that roundabout. Past the MJ hat. Here we go. HRH Luna Shadow is trying to work her way through. But everyone's dying. JP just died a death beyond anything. And then one big bear STFC. Well, he's a big bear. Lostin's in the lead. Lostin's got a chance to win this. Lostin's gone path. Oh, he just threw Dundesh to his death and just went Lostin's got a chance here. Lostin's about to win this. All he's got to do is go down the hole. Is Lostin going to make it down the hole? Is Lostin going to make it down the hole? Lostin going to make it down the hole? Lostin did it! Lostin did it! Lostin wins a t-shirt from STFCbriefings.com. Lostin, you finally nailed the hole really well. What a winner.
Found a hole. I found a hole.
Yeah, he found the hole.
Goodness, I found a hole.
Exactly. He found a hole, and he worked his way through. It's absolutely amazing. Congratulations, Lostin. Very well deserved. You win a t-shirt from STFCbriefings.com. Congratulations with everyone that has done that. That is absolutely superb. I want to see him wearing the t-shirt. I mean, I'm sure Lostin will wear it. Maybe he might get his son of a t-shirt with a son of a mug. That would be interesting. Lostin, congratulations on that. And it's done that in every way. So, one more to go. One last race before we raid out to throw the last giveaway, number 5. Let's go. !play into the chat. Last race. Don't give up on it. We don't have a hype train, but it doesn't matter. You can throw some bits in there. Everything goes towards to write love on her arms, or to write love is where they want to shorten it to. So hopefully they'll do that. To write love on her arms. Absolutely beautiful. Absolutely superb. Come on in, people. As we do this, while we're doing this marble race, we'll find someone beautiful to rate to. Hopefully, we can give them a nice number to that. So let's keep the race going. ! Play. Let's go. One, it's a mug this time. The last mug we're giving away. We're giving away 2 t-shirts. We'll give away 3 mugs. That's fantastic. Let's go, people. Let's go. ! Play. Anyone else? Keep going. John Deere giving you a chance. Real Sojim's got a chance here to do so. Let's go, people. Come on in. Go. ! Play. Don't miss out. Tax Force, I'm going to give you a couple of more seconds to get yourself in there as I'm trying to find the channel that we will go to as well at the end of it, which would be good. Let's see if we can help somebody great from STFC, which is hardly anybody. Where is STFC people? No STFC people. Interesting. Then we'll give love to someone really new. That'll be amazing. Let's go, people. Let's see how it is. But hopefully by that time we'll do so. All right, ready? In fact, they're all here. I'll turn it into a t-shirt. Let's turn it into a t-shirt. They're all doing surges. Yeah, nice. I'll turn it into a t-shirt. ! Play. Oh, Shockwave. Captain Wolf. I'm full of flu, so not streaming. Sorry, RSDJ. All the ! Play. Let's go. Last t-shirt. Turn it into a t-shirt. I'll give away a t-shirt. Let's go. Press start. And here we go. Beauty Maximum. You must be following the channel to win. That's all I ask you to return. Let's get more followers. We're only 17 away from where I want to get to. And then Paramount will give away a massive gift. So you can get more people to do so. That'll be amazing. HRH Luna, you just made it in. The race begins. Nay, never. Nay, never. You just jumped. No gravity by 100 bits by Broken Wolf. Nay never got thrusted as well, and he just died a death. So he enjoyed himself, flew up in the air, and then died, which is very interesting. Flossie, unsubbed user just died. Oh no, he won't know because we're in ads, so he won't know that that he died. So someone tell him when we come out of ads. That's a joke. He's obviously subbed. Let's go. Murphy's got a chance here. Murphy's working. Murphy's got a chance here. Murphy's got a chance. Murphy and a few others, and everyone's dying. Murphy is still in the lead, working his way round. And Retro Fury with 100 bits to kill Mosher, Beach Whale, and a few others. Cottontail, Thornston, Karasatach, Dundesh, Panaman, Lady Command. Loads of people are dying here. Oh, you know, we're trying to work their way through. This is quite a race because it's twisty-turny in every way possible. However, we have Sniper who's taking the lead. Sniper slowly working his way through. He's mathematically trying to figure out the quickest way to get to the end. He's going 1 + 1 = potato, but then someone else just goes way ahead of him, and then Dark Tree Gaming, we're looking at him now, and we're trying to find people who are going to get ahead. They're working their way through. You Lead Bugs is gone through here again, and here we go. Lost him. We're watching him whether he can make it 2 out of 2, and then win a t-shirt and maybe a gilet, because he's quite fancy. He's like, I like to wear a gilet. I like to caress my marbles with a gilet. That's what Loston says. Loston is known as gilet, a nickname, but Sniper has mathematically got himself way ahead. So many section 31. Yes, I know Megan Rainey, he's got that, but Sniper's going to win this. Look at this. The hole is easy to finish on. Sniper just slowly working his way through. Sniper's about to win. Sniper's about to win in every way possible. Sniper's got a chance here. He's worked his way around the corner. Sniper is gone past the corner. Sniper's going to win this. This is a definite win for Sniper. Easy win for Sniper here. Oh, no. He rimmed it. He rimmed the hole. He didn't go through it. He's rimming it again. Sniper, fall down the damn hole. Sniper wins. He just teased everybody saying, I win. Ha ha ha, got you in every way possible. Congratulations, Sniper. You are the winner of STFCbriefings.com t-shirt.
Oh, thank you.
Yes, you can hand it down if you don't want to. And Sniper, that's 2 wins now. You've got, it's absolutely, Sammy Stitch is there. That's absolutely amazing. Congratulations. Nicely done, Sniper. He teased the rim, Dundesh said. Oh, yeah, true. He just went, ooh, tickle. Ooh, tickle again. Ooh, tickle. And then went all the way down. What a fantastic way to end our Sunday. Congratulations, Sniper. Yes, Captain Shaw said maybe it is rigged. I can't see the person you're saying, Captain Shaw, so we'll see how it goes. But it'd be good to give someone a lovely raid. Let's send loads of love to someone that we can break. Who can we break? Ooh, I know who we can break, which would be funny. Oh, this would be amazing. Everyone just says, Nigel says you are cool. Are you ready for this? This is a raid for someone new. Just says, Nigel says you are cool. Shall I do this to her? I don't know. No, I'm not going to do this to her. I don't think she's a... I'm not going to do this to her. I think that would be quite funny. Let me give it to... I can't find any STFC people. What the hell is going on? Oh, let's annoy Asana. That'll be a good person to annoy. Also, she's got a really good starter for me in every way. Unless someone's got a suggestion.
We're all here. We're all here.
Yeah, that's good, which is quite fun. Shall we annoy Sana or shall we annoy Amanda? I'll give you a choice. No one knows Amanda yet. Sana. Or Jess. Or Georgie. Or Tipsy Tune, who's ridiculous. We'll do that. Okay, let's
go Amanda.
Let's go Amanda and we'll help her out. Okay, start the raid. Everybody says Nigel says you're cool, so we're here. So let's give her the biggest welcome to STFC that we can, because I want to make sure that she sees a big number, because she's a big streamer and she'll help us out. Lovely Star Trek fan. Thank you so much. Until next time, goodbye.